Hello, everyone. Welcome to Casters and Castles. This is Tales from the Golden Bough. My name is Tormented by Gnomes, and I'll be your dungeon master this evening. If you're joining us for the first time, Tales from the Golden Bough is a show where we bring on guest stars and friends from the tabletop and esports communities, and we play fun little one-shots. Today, I've got an awesome cast of folks I've been looking to play with for a while, and I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourselves. Ark, why don't you start?
Hey there, I go by Ark of Covenant. I am a wearer of many esports hats, currently sort of on hiatus due to the ongoing pandemic. But when there's not a pandemic, I work at a place called GameWorks, where I do tournament organizing and other esports related tasks, community management, etc. My character that I'm playing today is Mai Longfoot. I'm a human rogue that normally travels as a posing as a merchant. So excited to get this one started.
Sick. I go by Baby Blue or Baby fucking Blue on all socials. My cool thing that I do when I'm not holed up in a country where I can't work and stuck between two places because I can't go anywhere because everyone's borders are closed is I'm an audio engineer. So, any like live events or records, I make cool music and stuff. I've made some fun music that makes fun of video games before. That's always been good. My character is a two-headed tiefling freak of nature sorcerer. This is Layella, and this is Ordis. And yeah, excited to get the game on.
Awesome. Welcome.
I'm Beatdown Boulevard, also known as Beatdown. Even during the pandemic, luckily, I do esports commentary, live events, although mostly online now because of COVID-19, of course. My character is named Gale Silrel. It's a wood elf that is a monk, and it's going to be really cool.
Excellent. Last but not least.
Hi, I'm Vowels. I'm a coach, caster, and shitposter, and I am playing San Pellegrino, who is a grumpy old elf.
And you are playing from across the pond. We appreciate you waking up
Yeah.
at whatever the hell time it is o'clock.
I should also add apparent insomniac to that list, I guess. It is 3:30 in the morning right now.
It's not apparent.
All right. So today's adventure, everyone's level 5. We're going to do character introductions in a moment. For those of you who are fans of the show, today's adventure takes place in a small mining village on the eastern edge of Odasvale in the Northern Kingdoms. Recently, a terrible dragon was unleashed in the heart of the Northern Kingdoms, and it has been laying waste to the countryside, burninating all the peasants. However, the dragon has not yet reached Odasvale. Nobody knows why it has not crossed into the valley. But even without the ravages of the dragon of Chardalon tearing it apart, this land has troubles of its own. It is caught between 3 rival kingdoms. It is a fertile, fantastic, strategically important area, and its loyalties are divided among the common people, among the nobility. And I have not been on mute this whole time. Excellent. I always like to check that. I just reset up everything, so if we have tech issues today, we can blame it on that.
Sweet.
Right? So, into this small village up against the mountains. If you are going up towards the eastern mountains, you travel through miles and miles of fertile farmland and rolling hills, and as the terrain slowly rises up near the edge of the forest is the town of Lomthall. Lomthall is under the purview of a knight, Lady Millicenta, and it's mostly known for its mining. Nearby, just about an hour or so's walk into the foothills, there's a mine that produces copper and, when the elements are in your favor, silver as well. It's not a particularly huge vein. It's not enough to be a site of great wars, but it's enough to sustain the people who live here. And they're also dependent on the farms in the foothills to the west of the town. These farms have fallen under a mysterious blight. As the spring sowing went through and the first sprouts of the fresh crops emerged from the soil, a strange russet-colored mold or rot begin to gather around them, and that sowing failed. This has the entire village worried that they may not survive if the next crop fails as well. And a blight like this is likely to stick around. Lady Milicenta does not believe that this blight is the work of mere nature. She thinks that supernatural forces are at work, but she is no expert in matters arcane. So she's turned to a group of 4 travelers who seem to know more about these things. They've been around the world a little bit. They've encountered some dangerous magic and dangerous creatures. Perhaps they can help uncover the source of this supernatural blight. Why don't we do introductions again, but this time, tell us what we'd see and what we'd hear if we met your characters for the first time.
Me first?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go with you first.
All right, so I am Mighty Longfoot. I am, of course, a simple merchant. I have a cart filled with various wares to help travelers and adventurers alike. That is the appearance that I give outwardly. For the sake of introduction, I will give some hidden information about my character, in that he is a backstabbing evildoer. He is chaotic evil and basically makes his living by sneaking up on unsuspecting travelers and killing them and taking their stuff to sell later. So that's why I have a cart full of stuff. It's all stolen from various corpses that are rotting, buried somewhere along the side of the road. Presumably, I've joined up with this group of adventurers in the hopes that they are going to let their guard down, and maybe I can backstab them, but I just as well might decide to backstab somebody else if it is worth more money to me in my merchant doings. So that is my purpose for being in the party, and obviously that is not known to any of your characters, I would hope.
That would give you a bad day. Baby
That
Blue.
would.
Tell us about your character.
Boy. So you would see a sort of pallid, pale, like almost decrepit looking tiefling who is hiding under a nondescript cloak that is kind of tattered to pieces. But you may also notice that this tiefling has 2 heads and only one of them is hooded. The unhooded one is Layla, and she's got sort of like straight black hair, which I do not have. I've got curly blue hair here. And she's definitely got like grayish, like fading away skin, and she seems like a little somber and hardened from years of just being downtrodden for being a freak. Leala and Oridis were abandoned as children on the street, left to fend for themselves. And through the miracle of making a few friends with the other freaks of nature tossed in the middle of the street, they managed to survive and find themselves striving to understand the meaning of their power that they have been blessed with, the power that they have inherited, the sorcerer's power that they've inherited.
All right.
Or this is more of a silent and brooding, and it kind of looks like they've got some rage building inside them, and they don't look like someone that you would want to get on the bad side.
Excellent. Anything else?
That's all.
All right, beatdown.
So, my character is Gale Silrell. Like I said, a wood elf, like 5'10" in height. Basically, came from a small village. The character was relatively normal until an invading army comes through, takes part in the battle, kind of realizes there's more out there, and just has the sense of adventure. So, ended up leaving home, traveling around the world, been on various adventures, mostly just in the pursuit of interest. Is down to help people. When they're pretty hard-headed, like when they set their mind to something, they're gonna do it most of the time. And although pretty friendly and okay at making friends, doesn't really trust them, or they have a hard time trusting people.
Slow to trust.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
Excellent.
Oh, and is a monk. I forgot to mention that.
Very good. Thank you. And Vowels.
San Pellegrino just looks really grumpy. They are a wood elf with very tanned, coppered skin, but there's lots of signs of wear. Very leathered, wrinkly. He's got grey matted hair. Really needs a bath at some point. Quite bland, black clothes with a hood up, just trying to not take your attention. The only things really of note are a quite shiny rapier on one side and dagger on the other, and a pretty ornate short bow on his back as well. Other than that, he just looks like he's trying to get around his day and find his way to the pub.
Excellent. The four of you have answered a call, a paid call, for Lady Millicenta of Lomthall. She seeks adventurers to help uncover the cause of the Blight, experts in the mystical arts, 200 gold if you're able to discover and unravel the cause, and in addition, a total of 500 if you can solve it. The town is humble. It's built within a small wooden palisade. There are many, many homestands and farms down the foothills to the west, and a few points of interest. Let me just pull that up. In the town itself. And as you enter and as you speak with Lady Millicenta, who is a very, let me pull that up as well. Yeah. She's middle-aged, goes about wearing a tabard and chainmail pretty much all the time. She uses formal court language quite a bit for being sort of in this backwood, and she has a short temper, and she asks if the lot of you are up to the task.
My
Who's
lady,
the party face?
my lady, we are working our whole lives to find out the origins of such black magic, and would very much be honored to help you.
And the rest of you will follow as well?
I'm but a humble merchant, but I'm willing to offer my wares and services, and however they might be used to help accomplish this task. I don't know how useful my own skills will be, however.
Are you going to pay me to do it?
Yes.
Then I'll do it.
Good enough
Yeah,
for me.
then I'll do
I
it.
like your style.
Sounds interesting enough.
Very well. The worst of the Blight is in the farms on the western edge of town. Perhaps you could start there. What do you do?
What do you think, gang?
I mean, we should probably start there.
Sounds good to me. Wait, should we ask Lady Millicenta a few questions first?
Yeah, we can. What do you want to know?
How long ago did this blight start?
We only noticed it in the last week, when the spring sowing first started breaking up through the soil. The sprouts came out fresh and green at first, and then it kicked in. So it's been a very short period of time.
And did the blight take over all the crops at once? Or did it start from a certain location and spread slowly?
I think the Bright Moon farm got hit the worst, and the farms in that area as well.
All right, I think that's probably a good place to start.
Yeah, let's go.
Very well. You head out from the walls of the small town of Lomthall. The ground slowly sweeps downwards at a very, very gentle grade, and you can see the rest of the valley of Otisvale for miles and miles and miles off into the distance. The Bright Moon farm it's a fairly large plot. There's 3 different fields. They grow, 2 of them are different crops, and the third one is fallow at any given time to make sure they don't overwork the soil. And Merrick Brightmoon is the owner of the farm. He's a halfling, and he's just got kids running around all over the place, running through the fields. Some of them are doing chores, some of them are just absolutely running amok. He seems fairly busy as you approach, but cheery enough. What will you do?
Let's go talk to him.
All right.
Sounds good to me. As we walk up, I run my fingers through the dead crops and see how they feel to the touch.
Hmm. All right. Can I get to the touch? Many of them have almost crumbled away entirely. They're soggy and flaky, and it's got this graininess to it that's unusual. One would not expect to find in wheat.
And are they blackened?
Some of them are. The initial rot when it kicks in is this russet color, and after that, the usual fungus and bacteria seem to kick in and just black and blue and molding over.
So it's more a disease than a death.
Looks like it.
Okay.
So I guess I'll walk up and ask. Sorry. What was his name?
Merrick Brightmoon, welcome.
Merrick
Please come in. Hey, you get out of that. Just pardon.
No, it's good. So we've been asked by, I guess hired by Lady Malachenta. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she basically hired us to look into what is going on with this village's crops. I guess my first question is, what has anything? You said it's been happening for a week. Is there anything unusual this harvest compared to in previous years? Like anything you can think of that might have alluded to this in hindsight?
Oh, bad omens across the entire land. Bloodshed and kinslaying and a great dragon devastating the north. All terrible. Dark signs indeed.
Where do you remember this dragon last?
Oh,
Where have you heard this dragon last?
I've heard that it's laid waste to the great stone castles of Vercinget and scorched hundreds and hundreds of miles. I've never seen it myself, of course.
So are you thinking it's just when you say omen, do you mean it to be like directly related, or just it was just a sign? Like the dragon scorching the land is not directly related. Is that what you're implying?
I'm sure it's all connected somehow. All bad business.
I'm sure you are familiar with the dragons of this world, and you know that they are all very noteworthy. Do you know which dragon it is that has been ravishing this?
Oh, it's supposed to be just great massive wings that blot out the sky. Agra block? A Bula? Something along those lines.
I see.
Have you noticed anyone odd traveling through these parts? Someone that doesn't travel through here normally?
I don't think there's actually been fewer travelers of late. There's the risk of us starving out, and so we've been sending folk out to perhaps look for more crops. But things have particularly slowed down at the mines. Much fewer comings and goings there. But as for other travelers, I couldn't say.
Are any of your peers not affected by this? Do you know anyone who it doesn't have the blight in their?
Oh, I haven't gone to every single neighbor's house and looked myself.
I'm sure there must be talk at the town, though.
Well, it definitely seems to have hit our farms more on the east side of on the west side of town than on the east side of town. Up where the foreman of the mines has his house and the woods folk have their houses and such. They keep little crops and gardens for themselves, and I don't think any of them have seen this.
Do you guys think it would be interesting to go to the border of where the blight ends and the healthy crops begin?
Yeah, and maybe we can ask the people who basically tend to those crops. Are they doing something different? They long shot, but maybe they're the cause.
We should also definitely check out the mines and see if there's something in the soil down there that has contaminated the soil up here.
Yeah, you did say there were less comings and goings, so something might be happening there too.
Pellegrino,
Well, I
you
take it
might-
I'm probably the only merchant that's traveled through these parts, so I'm willing to offer my wares at a very fair price given the circumstances that we're all facing at the moment. So yeah, I am willing to go wherever those wares might be needed, or to assist you all in your investigation as well. But as a simple merchant, I have no knowledge of the crops or watering that you guys speak of.
Well, perhaps the miners could use some supplies. I think that they could definitely avail themselves of your services.
Can't hurt to go have a look.
I don't mind taking a
Yeah.
detour. We can probably ask them some questions too.
Sure. I guess before we go to the east end, because we're still in the west end.
Mm-hmm.
Merrick, do you think there's anyone still nearby, like any of your neighbors who might have more information, something else that might help us in our quest?
If we had any of that sort of information, we would have looked to ourselves first, not to throw any shade on outsiders, but we folk of
Sure.
Lomthall like to take care of our own, and I'm sure this is of a supernatural, unearthly, accursed nature. And I doubt you'll find anyone in the walls of our village who could tell you much more. Unless the plants themselves can tell you, of course.
Right. Okay. Then I guess that's where we're going.
All right. You are standing still in the homestead, surrounded by, there's some sheep in the paddock, and again, all the crops that have failed out to the side. What will you do?
Before we go, is it possible for me to oh wait, no, I literally don't even have that.
You might have skills that are useful in this case, however. Several of you might have skills.
Yeah, I want to see if I can detect if there's magic in this blight or if it is just an organic disease.
True.
But I don't think I have detect magic, so that might be a problem.
That suggests eating it.
Of course, chat suggests eating it.
Although I make a habit to exclusively only listen to Twitch chat, this one time I think I won't.
We'll make an exception.
Yeah, exactly. I guess could I roll for insight? Is that a thing? Will that work?
So insight is more interpersonal. It's your bullshit meter. It's getting a read on people, being a good judge of character, detecting someone's emotions, looking, all that stuff. Something just happened.
Yeah,
lost Blue.
I think her internet exploded.
All right.
Yeah.
And so did the overlay.
While we're waiting for Blue, does my criminal contact network, do I know of any contacts in the area that might have other knowledge of what's going on that might not be common?
Let's see. You have a reliable and trustworthy network who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. Okay. So, before entering the town of Lomthall, some of your contacts let you know that there are folks in town. It's a very small mining village. It's not of great import, but there is money to be had here. And it's stuck right between the lands of two barons who are at conflicting odds. So the local crime family is interested in putting down some roots and gaining more control over the town. How would you feel about that? Would you be inclined to assist? Are you sort of out on your own? How would you, before you entered the village, how would you have dealt with that?
Before entering the village, I would think that I would be at least seeking to meet up with them to see if they need to buy things. The farmers seem like they would be poor, so and not necessarily wanting to buy any of the random stuff I'm carrying around, given the current condition. But those who are scheming might have a need for some daggers and potions and whatever else I've happened to have acquired as a merchant. So I would guess that my kind of internal goal is just to find an opportunity to at least present my wares to these people and perhaps talk with them some more in person to get some more info as well.
Well, fun fact, you already have. Merrick Brightmoon is the Thieves Guild representative in this town.
Oh,
Whoa.
There's a number of Bright Moons in this area who all they keep this very much secret amongst themselves, but the entire family is involved in low-grade petty crime, and they're looking to upgrade.
all right. So I'm gonna small talk with what's his name before we leave. Merrick, that's who we're talking to, right?
Correct.
But I have this thieves can't thing, which means I could code it a message of hey, do you want to buy anything, or anyone who wants to buy anything?
Okay.
So that's my intent with a conversation there.
All right. Be advised that Mr. San Pellegrino also knows Thieves Can't, right?
Oh, does my character know that?
I don't know. Would you have portrayed that outwardly, Vowels, or no?
San Pellegrino's just here to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know anything about him.
Excellent.
All right.
That's interesting.
So the conversation, I'm literally just like shoving my head into the frame so I don't have to click the buttons that change the overlay. I should probably create an emergency version of it. The conversation, the way that Thieves Can't works, it's a subtle form of slang that makes it easy to talk without giving away the fact that you're having a secret conversation. So this conversation occurs between Maila and Merrick, but San Pellegrino is able to catch up on it. There's a little bit of extra coin in this for you, and this is essentially what you two thieves are aware of. There's some coin in here if you play your cards right and help me out. Are you interested?
Of course.
All right. I would say, and also let me know if Discord kicks back in. You could make an insight check. I don't know if she's actually able to hear us or not.
Oh, is it just her video that's down?
Okay, right. So you can make an insight check to be aware of the fact that there's something funny is going on. All right, if Discord is well and truly dead, I might want to tweak the overlay. Make an insight check, and you'll be able to get the idea that there's more to this conversation than meets the eye, but you will not know the context or the details thereof.
Okay. So I just click insight.
22. Yeah, this does seem a little bit odd. Okay, if I really 5 box copy, and I'm gonna duplicate 5 box, and I'm start futzing with that. All right. So if you are interested, here's what I need you to do. This blight was caused by the foreman of the mine. Do you understand?
Of course.
Okay. And as long as everybody ends up on the same page about that, as I said, there's some extra coin in this for you.
Interesting.
So make sure that you follow the breadcrumbs, and that's the way that this turns out. And you'll be able to collect not only the Lady Knight's reward, but a little more on top.
I will see what I can do.
Anything else? Any other questions before you move on? And I take it San Pellegrino is just sort of letting this ride very subtly.
Yeah, San Pellegrino is not outwardly acknowledging that he knows what's going down.
Of course.
I will ask if he has any good trails to start. If I'm going to convince the people in the party who are ignorant to what is currently being conversed about, where he might suggest I start going about convincing them to do what needs to be done here.
Well, if any of you actually are smart in the ways of the arcane, I would have them take a look, and maybe, this is just something you could notice. Take a closer look at the fields, see if you find anything unusual. Search the foreman's house, see if you find anything odd there.
Perfect. Can you point us to where he lives?
Absolutely. You just head to the other side of town. And part of this, he can talk about the foreman's house in open terms, by the way. Let me just start pressing buttons. Boop. All right. I'm slowly fixing people's faces one at a time.
So, do Blue and I, what do we know since we rolled decently on our insight checks?
A natural 20. Okay, so Blue would know that there is a secret conversation taking place. With your result, you would know that there's something strange about this conversation. They're talking quite a bit, and they're just sort of making idle chit-chat in a very folksy manner, and it seems strange to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that you've...
I'm back!
Bless.
Wonderful.
Welcome.
Yeah, okay, so if I know that a secret conversation just happened, Layla would say, wait, did we just miss something?
Yeah, I think we did.
Oh my god.
You don't have to worry about it. I just wanted to figure out, what part of the town needs stuff the most. So I just wanted to talk with this fine gentleman here and make sure that everything was all right in the town and that it was safe for us to approach them.
Would you mind rolling me a deception check, please?
Rest my pepperonis.
Yeah. It doesn't seem entirely convincing.
Okay.
It's up to the rest of you to decide if you're going to do something about it or.
Oh no!
We don't believe
smile
him.
And nod.
We don't believe him, but we're just gonna be like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever.
It's like, oh yeah, that checks out.
A follow-up question would be, this man just said to go interrogate the foreman. Why does he think he has anything to do with it?
Apologies. The bit about interrogating the foreman was in Thieves' Cant, so you wouldn't have been able to parse that part. But at the end of it, the conversation sort of naturally turns to the foreman, and he gives directions that you are able to understand. He attempted to disguise it as a part of a conversation about who needs supplies and where to do business. And that last bit... But so again, you would know something's fishy, but you definitely understand. Like that last part was not in Thieves' Cant.
Right.
So sure, but I still understand that I'm being told to go check out the foreman's house.
Yes. Well, no. The part about searching the house, also Thieves' Cant. It just sort of, yeah. That whole.
So I just think I'm gonna go there so that we can go sell him some. So Gale can go sell him somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to go check on the well-being of all the villagers, and it doesn't hurt to gather some more information while we're there.
All right.
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as we're still here by these fields, I would definitely like to see if I can glean that there is any magic in these fields.
All right.
That's an excellent idea.
You don't have the ability to detect magic, but do you have proficiency in the Arcana skill?
I definitely do.
Okay. You could use Arcana to derive if there's been some sort of magical manipulation at work.
Sure. I would. Should I do an Arcana check?
Yeah, go ahead and click that. Let's see what you got. 8.
That was too many.
That's fine. We'll just
took
take
a
the
second
first
to
one.
load.
Yeah, sometimes there's a small delay. Point of order, in terms of house rules, if there's ever too many rolls, I always take the first. And
sure, fair enough.
If anyone ever accidentally rolls a normal roll that should have been advantage or disadvantage, I just have you roll again, and we count it that way. Yeah. All right. So you're investigating the mold that's grown over it, the strange blight that's gone upon it, and it's not something you've ever encountered, and it's not something you're familiar with. And there are enough strange spores and the like out there. You haven't seen them all. That your knowledge of the arcane is not able to avail you at this time. Let's circle through the party real quick. Beatdown, what are you doing as the party moves out and investigates the field?
I'm just looking around, I guess. Just trying to see if there might be any suspicious people around, just because I know I don't really like I know I don't know anything that was actually said in that conversation. I just know it's suspicious, and I know he lied to me just now.
Hmm.
So it's just kind of just watching.
Okay. Why don't you give me you can use perception to do a general scan. You could do investigation to do a thorough search.
Hmm.
You don't have to be proficient. You can make those rolls regardless.
Right. I'm just thinking, just because I am really good with perception. I think I'll go with perception for
Okay.
now.
Go ahead and roll me a perception. Natural 20. Okay.
Pog.
Vowels, by the way, you're on deck. As soon as we're done with this, we're going to check in with you. So, you find, discarded in the fields, a molded over basket. It has traces of old rotten food. It looks like it used to be a meat pie. It's been rotting for a week.
Is there anything else there?
Nope, just a moldy meat pie.
I guess I'll probably tell the group about that.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess, hey guys, I found this. It looks like a really moldy meat pie.
Wow,
long is-
stunning. You leave a meat pie out in the
I-
middle of a field and it goes moldy.
Yeah, but people there are basically people who take care of these fields. So I can't imagine something like this just kind of it just slips by people. That doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, I can't imagine why anyone would leave a meat pie in the field in the first place, never mind let it go moldy. Is it some kind of
Yeah.
offering to some field god? What is this? Why has it just been left out here?
Does
I
anyone
mean,
have...
Merrick did...
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Merrick did seem very what is the word? Almost superstitious. So it really could be.
Does anyone in the party have history proficiency?
No.
Does anybody in the party have a folk hero background?
Yes,
You do?
I do.
Excellent. All right. So you're able to identify there's a bakery in Lomthall that's actually fairly well known, not really that far, in town. Everyone says, oh, they know about this for hundreds of miles, but really it's a couple of the surrounding places. And the bakery largely produces the number one consumers of their baked goods are the miners, because they have to sort of pack their lunches as they go down into the mines. And so these meat pies are baked to stay moist and to stay warm as they go down there so they can eat them on their lunch breaks. They're the primary consumers of the meat pies.
So basically, this is from a bakery where normally a lot of miners eat from. Which is interesting because... But then why would that be here?
Was that thing upside down or like fallen over when you found it?
Just sort
Did
of
somebody
discarded.
did somebody throw it away in a hurry? Were the miners running away from something? I feel like maybe we should
Maybe.
go check out these mines for real.
Yeah, I mean we already got directions from Merrick, and this is a weird connection. We might as well.
Vowels, anything from you?
So this whole time, Valves has just been San Pellegrino has just been kind of who knew I'm a grumpy old man as well. San Pellegrino has just been kind of watching the party, in particular, just keeping his eye on May, seeing. Actually, I'm gonna roll perception just to see if there's anything about May and his caravan that maybe Sanpei didn't notice at first, but now Sanpei knows a little bit more. There might be So I'm just going to roll up, but not like an active investigation, just from where Sanpei stood.
Just a cursory scan.
Yeah, just to see if
Okay.
there's anything I didn't notice at first about Mai in the caravan.
All right, let's start with a roll. If it's high enough, we'll worry about the rest. Okay, that's a natural 20.
There have been 3 already.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
Christ.
Okay, well, I was gonna say, Mail, do you have any special abilities about concealing and hiding stuff? But is there anything on a natural 20 that you might have noticed? Something that looks odd or out of place?
Well, my guess would be, so there's nothing like especially strange in the cart that I have. Given that all of it is stuff that I've taken from people that I've killed,
Mhm.
Oh God.
potentially maybe a piece of armor would obviously I can clean the armor if I'm trying to sell it, but if it's damaged in a fight or something,
Mhm.
it may have some sort of odd wear on it, indicating that the user was killed by a mortal wound rather than them dropping that piece of armor or selling it willingly to me or anything like that. So perhaps he would perceive it to be odd that so much of what I'm carrying is heavily used in that way. But other than that, it's just kind of like normal stuff that I stole. So not terribly out of the ordinary.
Yeah, battle damage, action, secondhand, slightly refurbished. And that's all of it, right? Pretty much all of it.
Right. I'm not a blacksmith, so I can't
Mhm.
like repair and anything that's significantly damaged.
Yeah, at the very least, San Pellegrino might be starting to wonder where Mai got all these wares from.
All right. Anything else at the at Farmer Merrick's farm?
You know what? I guess since we're probably just I personally would probably just leave the moldy pie where we found it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna offhandedly ask Merrick if he's ever been to that bakery. What he knows about it.
Oh yeah, very fine. On once a week I go and pick up a couple of tarts for the children.
You ever tried their meat pies? They're really good.
Maybe a long time ago. Not really the fare for my taste. If I ate too many of those, I'd be rounder than I already am.
Maybe I should get into some of those.
They're delicious.
Yeah, they really are. You happen to know anybody nearby who's a fan?
Not particularly. It's mostly the miners that eat that fare. They need that hearty, they're working in the bowels of the earth all day. They need that hearty meal.
Mm-hmm. So you say people on this side of town take care of themselves, right? So you guys don't really... Do you guys interact with people on the west side, the miners, and stuff like that?
Of course, when on church days and on market days, and there are neighbors.
Okay. Is there any reason they'd be here? Specifically on your farm?
I can't think that anyone has paid a house call recently. I'm sure it would have been rude for them to just drop by and not say hello.
Sure.
I think we've dilly-dallied enough. I'm down to go check these mines out now.
All right.
Ortis is getting a little antsy.
Sure. Can I roll insight on that just to see if he's lying?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
This goes green again, I swear.
Oh, no.
All right. Yeah, he seems perfectly earnest, if a little frazzled from the crops and having 8 children.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good to go.
All right. Are you going to head over to the east side of town where the miners live and the foreman's house is, or are you going to go up the woods to the mine itself?
Let's go have a chat to the foreman.
Yeah, let's have a chat. That sounds good.
Probably a better place to start, yeah.
All right.
Says San Pellegrino in a completely inconspicuous manner, glaring directly at Mai.
I'm avoiding
Or-
eye contact with everyone, so
Or this is a little miffed, and they go, "Why do you always choose the path that involves more talking?"
There are many
That's-
D&D players who would agree with them.
Yep. Well, they're a little bit of a grumpy little shit, so
All right. The party crosses through the town square once again with its little bakery. And there's a couple of shrines, and the Knight's Manor house is near the edge of the walls. It's the most fortified building. It's not huge. And there are a few folk who live inside, but most, for safety and such, but most of them ply their work on the outside. And the foreman's house is inside the walls on the eastern edge of town. And as you approach, there is smoke rising from the chimney. The door is open, and the foreman is sitting out on his porch whittling something. He's got a scraggly beard. He's tough, and you'd expect someone who works so hard, like if he was a farmer and he had those sorts of calluses and muscles, he'd be heavily tanned, but he spends enough time underground. And I think a couple of you are wood elves.
Yes.
It's pretty clear to you that this man is half wood elf.
Oh.
And
So,
he's... Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I guess we go and talk to him.
All right.
Unless you had more setup.
He eyes you as you approach. He's missing a couple of his teeth. You see him sort of grimace as he hits a particularly difficult knot in the whittling. And as you walk up, he twirls his scraggly beard and eyes you up. Who are you lot?
hey, we're just a few travelers. We had a couple of questions, if you don't mind. I don't know if you've heard, but there's been quite a lot of trouble with the farmer's yield this year.
Got a few things, I'll say that much. That's farm business, it's not mine.
Yeah, we were just wondering if you'd seen anything suspicious come this way.
Strange times, bad times, but I let folk live and let live. I don't pry into their business. I haven't seen anything.
So you don't know anything about Merrick Brightmoon?
Farmer? Got a
That's the one.
pretty big plot. A lot of kids.
Yeah, that he does. So wait, there's no. So we're on the side of town that isn't really having a problem, right?
Well, if the crop fails, we are all gonna have a problem.
But there are crops around here still, right?
Yeah, the land isn't nearly as good. You want to be closer to the lowlands where the water flows by. There you have to dig up all sorts of tree stumps and the like. You got a lot more gravel.
Seem to know a lot about farming for someone who doesn't get involved in farmers' business.
I know enough to not get involved in their business. I'll tell you that. I keep a couple of pigs and that's it.
I kind of like this guy.
I'm just gonna plainly ask him if he's interested in buying any of the stuff that I have.
He eyes you, looks over your cart. No, I'm all set. We got our own tinkers and tailors and all of that. He does sort of look over to see what sort of tools that you have under there.
Can I try to say something in Thieves' Cant and see if he understands it?
Sure. It goes right over his head.
Okay.
Gail, I'm not sure why we're even here.
Does he speak Elvish by chance?
What do you say to him in Elvish?
I basically ask, hey, look, there's a whole lot of weird stuff going on. We're gonna go check out the mines after this, but like if you know anything, like please tell us. Because we are trying to help.
He says, I've not been up to the mines in over a week, friend.
Why?
My workers are all bunkered down in town. They've been called back to family farms to help with a second sowing just in case things go wrong. We can't feed our folk. We can't dig into the earth. This is taking priority. I boarded the place up and I'm waiting for everyone to come back.
Did something happen in the mines a week ago?
Nope.
Or sometime in the last week?
Still in Elvish, right?
Yes.
No, friend. Nothing out of the ordinary. I go up a couple times in the last few days just to make sure it's not been tampered with, but that's all.
And then lastly, I just want to ask, and nothing seems strange to you about Merrick Brightmoon?
Well, any man who will spend more of his time surrounded by dirt that isn't full of lucre instead of, dirt that lets you buy drink is odd in my eyes.
All right, fair enough. Thank you, friend.
Go in peace.
Wait, Gil, we haven't asked him about the pie.
That's how would we even ask about that? Because we just found a
You
random...
like pie?
Oh wait, have you or any of your workers been there? Been to Merrick's farm in the last week? The Bright Moon Farm, still in Elvish.
Mm-hmm. He says they're back with their families, and where they go is none of my business.
Okay, so before then, I guess my next question is, Kate. I guess I'll just tell them we found a basket with a rotted meat pie that I know is from that bakery, and that I know a lot of you miners like to eat it. So somebody and Merrick claims that he only gets tarts from there, has no interest in meat pies, but I imagine there's got to be some kind of connection. Was it you? Was it some of the people you work with? Is there anything you know about that, or just nothing?
Easy, friend. We've got enough troubles living among these humans without looking down each other's throats. Like I said, my men may have been over there. Some of them have families on that side of town, even though they plied the miners' trade. Where they go, none of my business, but I've not set foot on the Bright Moon Farm.
Okay, then I guess last question is, who of your workers do you think would have been there?
I can't say. I work with them under the earth. I drink with them when we're done.
Look, we're not looking for trouble. We just have
Seems
questions.
like you might be.
Well, not intentionally. And maybe we'll run into it, but nothing that's going to affect them. We just want to fix this problem.
Well, I mean, do you know anything about fungal blights or black magic? Because those are the only things I can think of. While you're having this conversation, what is Sanpei up to?
So halfway through this conversation, Sanpei has taken a little bit of a step back, and give me a sec. Sanpei's going to go attempt to have a little just nosy around the foreman's house.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that none of the rest of you have a passive perception of 22 or higher, because that's pretty outrageous. You'd have to be... When you built your characters, you would have had to deliberately set out to have a 22 passive perception. So I'm going to say he probably slinks off successfully.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that.
All right, and where will you go?
I'm gonna. Is the foreman sat in front of the doorway to his house?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, next to the doorway. It's. You'd be hard pressed to sneak past him. He's in a rocking chair right next to the door.
Yeah. Can I see if there's any way in through the side or back?
Yeah, he's got some shuttered windows. If you can get them open without making too much noise, you should be able to slip through. He's got some pigs out on the side, and he has a way to get back through to them. So you could either go through the pigsty, or you could try to climb through a window.
I'll go through the pigsty. I don't trust my rolls to stay good.
All right. It's a little bit sloppy. There's some mud. And the pigs grunt a bit, but with a 22 stealth, you're able to make your way past them without any difficulty. You enter the house. It's not particularly clean. I'm not going to say Spartan. It's not well decorated. There's clearly not really a theme of any kind going on, but where possible, the foreman, whose name is Bernard, has spent his wealth, it seems, on creature comforts. Fine drink, fine food, a nice bed, that sort of stuff. The rest, he doesn't, like, his wealth and expenditure is isolated in a few places that go to making his life more comfortable. And everything else is very dusty and bare and ill-kept. What do you do?
Okay, just to check. I went for the pigsty. Am I going to leave muddy footprints everywhere?
Yes, unless you figure out a way to not do that.
Can I? I'm already inside. Have I already got muddy footprints on the floor?
No, I think it's fair to let you think of it like as you've walked through the pigsty and you're about to set foot inside the house. And,
Okay. Sanpei is going to carefully bend down and take off his boots and leave them outside in the mud and walk inside barefoot.
all right. And once you get inside the house, what will you do?
Let's go have a look at some of those fine drinks.
All right, Ark, you're on deck, by the way. I'm going to go to you next. Okay, so you take a look. Looks like he's got some mead. You have to, I mean, they don't have a lot of beehives around here. That's from far away. That's a nice treat that he's bought. Probably the last time a merchant was in town. A few growlers of ale. Looks like a bottle of elven wine. Not the good stuff, but definitely higher quality than most would come about around these places. That's a cursory scan.
Okay, I'm just gonna. Sanpei's just gonna grab like. Not gonna take it all, but just let's say 2 bottles of what looks like the finest stuff. Just gonna sneak them into his side pouch.
Okay.
And
give yourself a growler of dwarven ale and a bottle of elven wine. And you can go ahead and add those in. Anything else before I cut away from you?
You said there's not really much else that looks of interest inside here.
Oh, it's just messy. It's not that there's not a lot else in there. It's that it's all sort of cluttered. You're certainly free to do a cursory scan with a perception check or a more careful investigation with an investigation check.
Yeah. I'd like to do an investigation just to make sure. I'm both looking for anything that might help us in the investigation, but I'm not really expecting to see anything. Sanpei is more looking for what's valuable.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check. 24. All right. Since you were looking for valuables, you find under one of the floorboards, which looks to have been recently pried up, is a bundle wrapped up of ore from the mine. Some of the best. It hasn't been smelted yet, but it's clearly ore. It's some of the most valuable, like, high quality chunks that could have been taken from the mines. Pounds and pounds and pounds of it. There's probably a good 12 pounds of ore here, some copper, some silver. And what's your background?
My background is a charlatan.
Charlatan. Okay. I think it's fair to say that you would know that the output of the mine does not belong to the foreman. The output of the mine belongs to Lady Millicenta, and she pays from her reserves to the miners for their services.
Well, in this case, the output of the wine does not belong to the foreman or Lady Millicenta. The output of the wine now belongs to San Pellegrino.
All right.
That is going to be... I'm going to sneak back over and put the alcohol back. They don't matter. The ore is going in the bag, and then I'm going to as quietly and carefully as I can, trying to make it look like nothing's changed, just put the floorboards back down and head out.
Okay. Meanwhile, back to Mael. What will you be doing? The conversation's going on. He sneaked off. No one noticed. You can pass on to the others, or you're welcome to investigate or talk, whatever you'd like to do.
So he's already told me he's not interested in buying anything.
He said that. He's sort of looking, but...
Okay. Can you remind me exactly what we were told about him from the farmer guy?
Yes, he is...
Or what I was told about him?
Oh, right. In secret conversation. You were told he is responsible for the Blight. Not as in he caused the Blight, but as in the way this goes down is he needs to take the fall for the Blight. That's what you've been told. And if you can make that happen, the Bright Moon family will make it worth your time.
Interesting.
And he suggested searching the house.
Okay. So I'm kind of going to size him up a little bit and kind of try to determine whether it looks like he has any sort of combat ability, weapons, anything that would make him a dangerous foe to fight.
Okay. Roll insight. 11. He's strong, you know, he works for a living, he's got some muscle on him. But nothing really screams combat preparedness to you, but you know, you're not totally sure you got a good gauge of him.
And we are talking to him outside of his house. Where exactly are we having
On
this
his
conversation?
front porch.
On his front porch. So we're on his front porch. San Pellegrino, unbeknownst to me, because nobody noticed, but San Pellegrino snuck past and gone inside.
Correct.
Okay. Does he have anything visible that's valuable on his person?
Nothing obvious on his person.
Okay. Is there anybody else nearby, whether anybody else in the yard or a neighbor or any other parties in the area?
He lives alone. He's got his pigs, and you are near the edge of the town, but you're inside the town wall. So there's, you know, just people milling about, going about their business. Worried farmers and laborers and shepherds and the like, and woodsmen coming to and from town. That sort of thing.
And how many people in this sort of town area? That's population?
Probably 500. And that
500.
includes the outlying communities.
So, and I've noticed him eyeing the tools on my cart. I'm going to go into salesman mode a little bit with the tools, and make a point about how there's a few merchants traveling through these parts nowadays, and he's better take a second look at the wares that I have, and just to make sure that he doesn't need anything, or perhaps he knows of one of his neighbors that needs something that I might have available to them.
What are some examples of stuff you might have available?
Well, as far as tools, I have a few various hammers and pickaxes and lamps of various types, and workers' boots and other workmen's garments, gloves, and other kind of basic stuff, just stuff.
All right. I mean, that is the sort of thing that he'd be interested in, but you get the impression that he's looking to drive a hard bargain. You know, if you're traveling around selling at premium rates, he's got suppliers. He's got, you know, a toolsmith in town whose family has lived here for generations that he trusts. But if you're willing to sell at a discount, he might be willing to buy.
Yeah, I'll barter with him and sell him something that he's looking for at what would be considered a discount.
Okay. If you're willing to let yourself get haggled down a little bit, he will spend, let's say, 7 silver on lamps, pickaxes, and good work boots. So however far that goes. If, you know, I'm not going to look it up right now. That might mostly be boots, might be several pickaxes, but some combination of that. He'll trade you 7 silver for it. He'll look over it. And every single piece, like, he takes it and he inspects the crap out of it. He goes through, he checks the seams, he checks, you know, of the boots to make sure that the soles aren't going to pop out. He rings against the metal for a bit. This is a canny businessman. He does not trust outsiders and outside merchants.
Okay.
Why don't you ponder your next move, and we'll move over to Baby Blue and then Beatdown. So remember, Merrick said get inside his house and make sure that he takes the fall for this. Baby Blue, what will your characters do?
I think Artis is getting a little antsy and wants to go to the mines and do some actual legwork and see if we can use our powers to divine if there is any arcana at work. I think Layala is fine with letting the party do their dues and get this conversation over with, but she feels a little lost and confused as to where this interrogation or this line of questioning is even going, because in our minds, this is a problem that is much bigger than this town, and we don't know why we're just running around asking little people their opinions.
Do you voice that?
I think Layala is generally more in control than Ordis is of our body and our general disposition, and so she is happy to let the party finish their business before we.
All right. Any side actions, investigations, or anything you want to do? You want me to pass that over?
I would definitely like to check if the foreman is like I would definitely like to check if like he's hiding something with magic in his house.
Well, that's going to require you to cast a spell or get inside the house.
Right. I don't think I have a spell for that, which is probably an oversight on my part. All of my spells are either offensive or deceptive. They don't really have any investigative ones.
Well,
If I can do like
deceptive could be handy for getting inside the house. Depending.
sure could.
It's true. May I ask what time of day this conversation is taking place?
Let's call it. You spent the early morning arriving here, mid morning on the other side of town. We'll call this noon.
You know what? I do have detect thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if this foreman is hiding something.
Okay. You're going to cast Detect Thoughts on him. If you click the spell on your character sheet, it should post the whole description. And I will need your spell save DC. Oh, I forgot. Detect Thoughts is a novel.
Yep, it sure is.
All
It's
right.
basically I first hear their emotions or see their emotions, and then if they fail a saving throw, I can glean more.
Okay. So you quietly start to read his mind. He is nah, he is suspicious of you lot as outsiders. He's worried, just generally nervous about the state of the village and the folk nearby. He's not enjoying this conversation. Wishes he had a drink. That's what you get on the surface level.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think I want to probe deeper, specifically into like the comings and goings of the miner.
Okay. He has to roll a wisdom saving throw. So I'm going to
Yes.
go ahead and that. An 11. I'm willing to bet an 11 doesn't cut it. At level 5, yeah, there's very low chance that an 11 cuts it. He, let's see, doesn't inflict the charmed condition. He is a wood elf. He's a little bit wise. What is your spell save DC? It should be on your spells tab.
15.
All right. Oh, there we go. 15. Yeah, no, he definitely didn't go through. So you gain insight into its reasoning, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind. Okay. His reasoning is that he doesn't trust you lot, even though he knows you were brought in to help. What looms over his mind? It's mostly just concerns about the town and about his love life. Those are the main things going through his head. He wants to get back to work so that he can keep drinking. And he's worried about a dragon that could possibly destroy the entire world. and he's cranky. You don't really notice anything hidden beyond that.
Okay, so I think if Layla and Ortis don't feel anything nefarious coming from this guy, we are definitely confused and distrustful as to why we were directed here. And Ortis's impatience grows stronger and deeper, and they definitely want to go scrounging around the mines instead. So I think a little bit of, can we get this conversation over with?
All right, that was voiced. Beatdown.
Yep.
What will Gale do?
Pretty much feels like he's not gonna tell me anymore. Do we know where the mines are already, right?
Yeah, you can definitely get directions. That won't be difficult.
Cool. Because I can't imagine he would want to tell us. No, I personally at this time, no, I don't really think he needs to know that we're going to the mines. So if we could just get directions from somewhere else, I think I'll just say, thanks for your time. I'm good to go personally.
All right. Well, actually, we can't just cut to one last pass just yet because we still have some. The call is coming from inside the house. So, Vowels,
Oh.
you are in the process of extricating yourself from helping yourself to his liquor cabinet. I take it you're just going to quietly pick up your boots and squelch your way back the way you came. Anything varying from that?
No, that's about right.
Okay.
When I get round the side of the house, like outside the pigsty, but not quite back to everyone, I am gonna take my boots off again and just kind of brush them off on the grass so they don't look too. So I don't get people asking, "Why have you just been walking through a pigsty?"
All right.
And then I'm just gonna sneak.
I'm gonna need you to roll a stealth check.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. Nobody notices you except the pigs. And it's not so much that they come after you as, they're sort of sleeping in the mud. They wake up and they start slopping around and making some noise. What do you do?
Sorry, before that, really quick question.
Yeah.
Just with how stealth and passive perception works, does it have to surpass it, or does tying it also count?
I think the way it works is it's tricky because it's normally meet or beat.
Yeah.
Passive perception equals stealth check.
Where do you see your passive perception?
It's on the left side.
Is that just your perception?
Nah, it's usually 10 plus your perception.
Yeah.
When hiding, you want to meet or exceed another creature's passive perception score. So it's like he's rolling an attack against your armor class, and it's meet or beat. So if your passive perception equals 16, still got past you.
Gotcha. Okay. Just checking, because my passive perception is 16.
Yeah, well,
so
I don't...
Maybe I noticed.
No, that's a good piece of errata. I'm not sure if that had come up before. All right, the pigs are stirring. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and just walk out of the pigsty without setting the pigs off too much.
Okay, if you're just going to proceed, I will require an additional stealth check at disadvantage. You don't have animal handling.
Oink oink,
skill,
motherfucker!
Right?
I don't have animal handling.
All right.
I do.
That is a natural 1.
Oh,
ouch!
Boy.
Would you like to narrate this, or would you like me to take care of it?
Oh, God.
Do your worst.
Okay. As you quietly, without making a single squelch or even leaving a depression in the mud and the filth, walk through the pigsty, careful not to get any more on your boots, you fail to identify that the lump in front of you is not more filth, it's a pig. And your foot goes square on top of it, and it awakens with a as you slip off of it and face plant into a pile of their leavings. You are coated in mud and filth from top to bottom.
Ooh.
And
I
all
wonder
of
what these
you,
pigs had for breakfast.
the rest of you, hear this wee and a
Oh boy.
Okay.
No.
Looking up, can I see like any bushes or foliage anywhere near the pigsty?
Not particularly. This is inside the town walls. It's up against the town walls.
All right.
Maybe rub on the walls.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Poor boy.
I'm just gonna run.
For us.
All right,
He's
you're
gonna
just gonna book it.
I'm going to. So the pigs, like, I'm going to assume like the pigsty faces like one way towards the house,
Mhm.
and the side of the pigsty is like actual walls or just fences.
Mm-hmm.
No, like, can I climb over the walls of the fence of the pigsty basically?
Yeah, getting over the pigsty is easy. The issue is finding a way to leave without being spotted by townsfolk or by the people involved in this encounter. You can either come up with a clever way to dodge away amongst the buildings or try to blend in with the crowd, even though you're just covered in goo. Or you can try to scale the walls and get out of town. Because you are literally up against the town walls. Ark, we're gonna come to you next in a moment. I'm gonna let Vals take one more.
Yeah, I'm
decision.
gonna take it. I'm gonna give it a go scrambling up the wall. Why not?
Okay, that's an athletics check.
Not an acrobatics check.
No, because it's about upper body strength. Unless you can find a way to make it not about strength. Acrobatics is flexibility and.
Can I like Assassin's Creed it and try and like jump
Kip?
from loose brick to loose brick?
You can, but that still takes a lot of strength.
All right.
You're not Mario here.
Yeah. Is this normal or disadvantage?
This is a normal, straight up roll. Unless you can think of anything else to tilt the odds in your favor.
Oh boy.
Mm.
All right. Now that you've already made the roll, I'll ask if you have a grappling hook in your inventory. You're on mute. I think you said that you're checking.
First
I am.
vowels.
Oh, I think it's just there was probably a bit of clicking that he wanted us to not hear.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was doing a quick type.
All right.
Mm.
Go ahead and start looking into that and thinking of ways to extricate yourself as the rest of you hear this squealing and a squelch. Mail, what will you do?
So my intent was to ask him to go and get a drink at some time. I'm guessing that got interrupted by this sudden squelching.
Yeah, most likely.
I'm just going to kind of make a comment about the pigs being noisy, and that's I'm not going to draw too much attention to it. I don't know. I don't have much of a response to it.
You're just to you it's just pigs.
Yeah.
You can see he turns and he hears that noise and he's getting up to go check it out.
I have like climbing spikes, but I'm going to
That's
assume
a
I'm
whole
not going to
process.
Yeah, I am not going to hammer those into the.
Oh.
All right. So yeah, he's getting up to go investigate that noise and beg pardon for just a moment. And
Would we notice by now that Sanfei is gone and not with us?
I think it's fair for you to notice that. This is the sort of event that would draw attention and allow you to take stock of your surroundings.
I think Ordis would probably whisper into Layla's ear, "What is that geriatric creep up to now?" At which point, Layla would realize that we now have to cover for him, because we are in this together no matter what. And I would be like, "Oh, before we part ways and go check out the mines, I've heard great things about that bakery that we were just talking. Do you mind reminding me where it is? We're new to this."
I'm gonna have you, because he is rather more interested in making sure that his pigs are all right than giving you directions to the bakery. I'm going to have you make either a deception or persuasion roll, your choice.
Oh, well, that's easy. Actually, they're both the same. Whatever.
14. All right. You buy a moment as he points you over to the other side of town. It's just outside the walls because, powers forbid that the oven catch fire and light this whole place. It's on its own plot, just like the smithy is. But it's just outside the walls, easy to see. It's on the way up to the mines, stone's throw or less from the walls. You can't miss it on the way out. That will buy Bowles enough time to do one more thing to attempt to avoid meeting a disastrous fate.
I will definitely also thank him for his time.
Sanpei is going to assume whoever is going to come investigate is going to come around like the same way he did. So he's going to turn to the other end of the pig. He's going to turn to, I guess if I've just tripped over a pig, I'm like in the middle of the pigsty. Yeah. I'm going to turn to the nearest side that isn't the way I came in and just book it.
Okay. Gale, anything from you as the mud-covered elf starts hightailing it?
Like anything to say to that, or
basically,
I think...
you have the chance to do stuff if you'd like to do any stuff.
Gotcha. I think at this point, are we gonna try to stop him? Maybe he probably doesn't want to be there.
My character is not going to try to stop him.
Is he in earshot? Just out of curiosity.
Is he what?
Is he within earshot? Oh wait, no, hold on a second. The foreman is
I don't really particularly want to associate ourselves.
I know
as a party with whatever shenanigans that Sanpei is going.
I don't
want to be lumped into that.
Somehow subtly be like, I'm just gonna very loudly and conspicuously say to the foreman. Okay, I'm just gonna say really loudly so that hopefully how do you say your character's name, Bells?
San Pellegrino.
San, yeah. So I'm gonna say it so San can also hear in Elvish, and I'll just be like, "Hey, thank you for your time. By the way, we're gonna go probably try and figure stuff out near the mines."
Roll deception.
Oh no.
My deception is not terrible.
All right. I mean, you don't completely. The role here was to see. He gives you an odd look.
I'll take that.
And then he'll move along. And San, you're able to, if you're just literally hightailing it, this will go noticed. Some of the townsfolk will see a mud-covered man just go running off. But you'll be able. You're a wood elf. You're a rogue. You have incredible speed. You'll be able to just dip. You will be able to escape, but it will go noticed if that's what you choose to do.
Did he hear what I said?
Yeah, and you also definitely would have heard what Gale said.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna... So I get out of the pigsty, and Sanpei is just trying to go, I guess, away, try and get away from the foreman, that's what it was, from the foreman's house quickly, and go into where, at least in the split second decision he's making, where are the least people?
Mm-hmm. Why don't you do a perception check to see if you can
just run that way?
Give me a perception check just to see if you can make a good judgment of where the least people are.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That is not good.
Alrighty then. You run directly into a stern-looking woman with a leather apron on, just covered in soot, and a huge tray of delicious tarts that both of you are now wearing, along with the mud that you brought in from the pigsty. Just
oh no!
There's jelly and pig filth and mud everywhere, and you're unrecognizable as an entity.
when you say I'm unrecognizable, what kind of description would this woman be able to give a Sanpei? Does Sanpei still look relatively like Sanpei? Or...
Right. A man covered in filth.
Okay.
I think you're due for a bath. I think it is my professional opinion.
Yeah, Sanpei just kind of Sanpei just kind of pushes off and keeps running.
Okay. A general outcry ensues as people see this filth and jelly covered individual just book it from town. They don't have a formal town watch. They just mostly have the knight and a few of the townsfolk who are trained as soldiers. So a bit of a hue and cry goes up as people point and yell that somebody just ran off covered in filth and jelly tarts. The rest of you hear this, and the foreman is not stupid. He realized he just like that chain of events that just occurred. He may not have linked it to the rest of you, but he knows something's up.
Okay.
And he's gonna start. He runs back to shut his door and basically join a search to figure out what's going on. What will the rest of you do?
I say we just go to the mine.
Yeah, as he's running off, I'm gonna give like a little, like a very telling, playing dumb, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
As if I don't know what's going on. Just as he's running away, hoping he heard me, and then go to Gale. I'm sick of this. We should definitely head to the mines. We're getting nothing done.
Yeah, I mean, he. I'm pretty sure he heard me say we were going to the mine. I said it in Elvish. I'm sure he picked it up and just kind of got to roll
That's
the dice
fine.
and hope he meets us there.
Okay,
So-
sounds good to me.
Yeah,
I'm just a merchant.
of course.
I have no reason to go to the mine. I wouldn't be much help there.
It's actually fair.
I'm just going to call out to him. Good luck with your pigs or whatever's going on there. If I see you at the tavern later, I'll grab you a drink. Is there more than one tavern in this town? Do we know?
I think it's just the one.
Okay.
It's,
If I see you at the
it's a
tavern
small
later,
town.
I'll grab you a drink, and I make my way toward the tavern if the rest are going to the mine.
Mike, could
Should
you do
we-
us a favor? There are while we and Gale go check out these mines, there are other houses here. Do you think you could have similarly pleasant, lovely conversations with these other miners? And obviously, you're free to sell them your wares. I'm sure you would enjoy that. But just if you learn anything interesting along the way, do let us know.
Yes, of course. Happy to pass along any information I glean in my conversations with these fine folk.
And if-
You'll most likely find me at the tavern later, and I
Sure,
will
yeah. I mean,
inform you there.
Yeah,
Cool.
if we're gonna split up like this, that makes sense. But I guess we'll just meet you back here in an hour or two. Does that sound?
Whenever you make it back here, I have no place specific to be, so you'll find me at the tavern.
Now, fair warning,
It's good.
it is
might take more than an hour or two.
it's about an hour all the way out to
Yeah.
the mine itself.
Yeah, there you go.
But
Oh,
you'll all be aware
okay.
of that, so you can all communicate that, no problem.
Sure. Then that time that I gave would probably be like 3 instead of 1.
Good enough.
There you go.
All right, so are the other 3 of you all heading out to the mine?
I'd say so.
Yes.
Sanpei, you're headed up there?
Sanpei is Sanpei's main priority right now is looking for a river, let's say.
Oh,
Looking
that's
for a
good.
river or
That's
something
good.
like that to watch off.
All right.
That's
Oh
You
boy.
have nature or survival as skills.
I do not have either.
Okay.
Ooh.
You can roll perception then. The results of the roll will be different than they would have if you had one of those skills.
Ooh.
It's not looking good for you.
No.
That's 3 of them. Oh my god.
two of the exact same roll too.
Okay.
Oh man.
We'll,
Ah.
we'll do this. All right. You wanders into a tribe of feral rock gnomes. No, if we did that, there'd be nothing left but cannibalized bones.
Crit fails. Why?
We will do this. You do manage to find a river. Unfortunately, you find it as you're wiping things off your eyes. You fall into the river and get swept along some of the way. Roll a strength saving throw.
Oh God.
Okay. You catch yourself.
That's pretty good.
You finally manage to catch yourself. You get dragged a little bit downriver, but you drag yourself away. You don't lose anything. You don't take any damage, which you might have from being battered around by the river. And when you come to, when you're able to pull yourself up, you find yourself in a patch of barberry, a form of wild barberry. It's got serrated leaves and berries that grow on it. And you give me a nature or arcana check. I know you're not proficient in them, but just go ahead and give me one, and we'll see how much information you're able to glean from this. Okay, so recently somebody cut a trimming from this plant. But as far as you know, it has no medicinal properties and no magical properties. But you notice somebody recently like cut a sprig of it away.
Okay. So first priority, not only is Sanpei washed off, Sanpei is now going to use his fine clothes and disguise kit to change his appearance to be just maybe a merchant who got lost and bears no resemblance to a angry little rogue who might have gone missing recently.
It's a good call. It's a good call.
Again, my character is set up to do exactly one thing. And then I might not know much about this, but at the very least, I could sell it as, fine, exotic herb or whatever. So I am going to pull out my dagger and try and cut a little bit off myself as well.
Okay, add a sprig of wild barberry to your inventory. The two of you are going to travel to the mines. We're going to give another chance to Mael to act, and then we're going to take you two to the mines. Mael, Foreman Bernard has left his house to join the search for this. He bolted up his house. It's not locked. Locks are actually fairly expensive and complex. But he closed up his house and put a board from the outside, but to make it a little more difficult to get in. And he went off to join the search, leaving the house unattended aside from the pigs in the backyard. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm going to take my cart to the tavern. I assume tavern's open.
Yes.
I'm going to take my cart to the tavern, and I'm going to go into the tavern and let the tavern keeper know that I lost a friendly bet to the foreman, and I owe him a few drinks. I would like to pay for his drinks if he comes in to drink this evening. But could you inform him that regrettably I had some other business come up and I will not be able to join him tonight. I'm going to. Is this? I assume this is a small enough tavern that my cart would be very visible at the tavern.
Yes. Pretty obvious. Like, there's not a stables here. There's just a couple places to tie horses, and there's not a lot of horses in town either.
So I'm going to leave the cart there, and then I am going to leave and attempt to basically position myself in such a way that I might see whether the foreman goes to the tavern without being obviously visible to him, and also keep an eye on my cart and make sure it seems like nobody's trying to take my stuff, and otherwise just sort of make myself conspicuous whilst I keep an eye out for the foreman going to the tavern.
All right. Meanwhile, the two of you traipse through the woods for just over an hour. The path up to the mine is well walked, well worn. It's wide enough for carts and wagons to make the trip, since that's how they carry ore to and from, and supplies and food and the like. And when you arrive there, you find that there are two entrances, one larger than the other. Both of them are boarded up. The larger entrance has rails for carts to be pushed in and out along a simple track that they use to bring things up. The smaller entrance just also is much rockier and much more steep, but they've both been boarded up. What do you do?
Any chance we can slip into either one without actually needing to mess with the, boarding?
It's fairly well nailed up, but if you make an acrobatics check, I'll allow it.
Cool. Let me just do that. What? Oh, okay. Acrobatics.
Doesn't seem like you're going to be able to slip through. You may have to actually pry it open.
That's fine. I stop him before he pries it open, since I can just like burn this stuff down if I need to.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess that works.
But I also would definitely like to attempt to maybe not slip through the cracks in between the boards, but
Mhm.
perhaps find like a forgiving gap in the rock somewhere nearby the entrances.
Upon further investigation, the only nearby forgiving gaps in the rocks appear to be small pockets and hollows, and none of them actually lead into the mines.
Okay, well, let me give this acrobatics thing. Actually, you know what? We both need to get in, so I'll just burn it down now.
Okay, firebolt.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of a firebolt.
It's gonna nice because it's an inanimate object, and you roll a natural 20. You just and you blast a hole in it, and the whole thing falls apart.
Sick.
It's very impressive, which leads us to. Go ahead while I set this up.
This is the rail entrance, by the way, that I've just firebolted.
Yes.
Not the rock entrance. Okay.
Very good. Should now actually see, and I'm going to hide those of you not present. Go. And I'm going to change the scene so see what we're talking about. Kind of.
Right.
After I make a modification. Do the two of you see the map?
Yes. A
Yeah.
lot of it is black.
Yes, that's by design. It's a you should be able to see part of it. You can only see the places that your characters can see. I'm going to add some sight to the rest of the party. Let me see if there's an
I can see the same thing right now. I think that they do.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna make some changes. Just make sure as I make these changes that nobody messes, because it might involve giving control to folks. So don't mess with anyone else's pieces. I just want everyone to be able to see what's happening. Should include. They just overhauled the dynamic lighting system.
Ah. Got 100 bits in the chat.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Pog.
Large pog. Oh, I think I know what's going on. And are you carrying a light source? And can you see anything aside from just the little token of yourself?
No, I can basically see how you described it. Like, I can see what they can see, because if I move a little bit, the vision opens up as I creep past the corner.
Excellent, excellent.
Which is really cool, by the way. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah.
There we go. Now it's fixed for me. All right, that is what you see. And the barred up entrance is down here. It is down here. I ping by clicking and holding with the cursor on the map.
Oh.
Okay, sick.
Oh, so do I, apparently.
And you can use the ruler to point.
Wonderful.
This entrance has opened up.
This one?
Oh, is that this is like an entrance?
Yeah, this is a support beam over the top, and the fact that you can see through it, if you can see through it in the game, then you actually can see through it.
Oh,
Okay, sick.
So,
So
we can just walk through it.
So I assume we're here because I just blew this thing up.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what we're looking for here is
I guess any evidence of like dark magic of some kind.
As you
sure.
open it up, you see just this enormous mushroom.
Oh, cool.
Right here.
Oh.
And a musty smell wafts out towards you.
Well, that's handy.
So I guess we should probably try to see if it's
Does the mushroom
magical?
smell anything like the crops did?
Oh.
From here, it does, but keep in mind that the crops have been rotting. Like they had the whatever blight kicked in, and then general rot kicked in. So you smell. It's kind of difficult for you to precisely determine the difference.
Okay, fair enough. Well, as the one proficient in Arcana, I definitely would like to check if this First of all, can I step further into the
Yeah, absolutely. You can use Roll20 to move your character about the cabin.
Am I noticing more mushrooms here?
Yeah.
Is it just the one?
So there's a huge mushroom right here, but there are other mushrooms, and there's some shelf fungus growing here.
Is that normal?
Okay.
What's you're a wood elf, and do you have nature or survival? I will say this much: this one is growing right out of the track, like over the track.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
It'd be impossible to operate.
If this mine was being used as of a week ago, that definitely would not fly.
So what? Yeah, what is going on with that?
I
asked
think random
or what? Sorry, gnomes.
Go again.
You asked for nature or
survival.
Something else?
Either one.
Sure. I do have survival. Yes, I'm proficient actually. Should I roll? Or...
Yeah, go ahead and make that roll. Sorry.
okay. That's okay.
24. This is not natural, and this is not normal. This is incredibly accelerated growth. The air down here is full of spores, and this stuff does not grow this fast.
Okay, do I know this yet?
I will immediately
what the hell is
this.
that? Okay, sick. That definitely prompts me to check it for any kind of arcane signs.
All right. Yeah. Roll an Arcana check to poke it and prod it and see if there's any weird components.
God damn.
Well, you believe magic was involved. That's about all you got.
Sure, fine.
I mean, I guess we keep going just to see what else is here.
Yeah, we should definitely keep going.
All right. Please feel free to.
Which way do you want to go? There's quite a lot of ways.
That's a good question. I guess
there seems to be some sort of ravine. Okay, sure, let's go that way. More.
Well, that's done. So maybe we'll just go up this way.
Roll perception.
Wait, I see something weird.
Hey, look! As you round the corner, a corpse peels itself off the wall.
Oh, that's gross.
Covered in fungal growth. Like it peels itself from the mold and shelf fungus that's growing right there and lurches towards you.
Cool.
Very sick.
Let's do this. Click on your character, like on your token. Make sure your token is highlighted on the map.
Yeah.
And roll for initiative.
Pog, it's battle time. So I click,
battle music.
I make sure they're highlighted, but then I go over to
so you've like
my
clicked
character
on
sheet.
You click on your token, so your token's selected, then click the initiative button.
Gotcha. Initiative.
And that automatically adds your initiative to the initiative tracker.
Sick. Me
that's
first.
crazy.
Dude, it's just the two of us. It's us against the world. Let's go.
I
mean, the three of us.
I was gonna say that guy hit 14 also.
Layla and Oridus, what is your dexterity modifier?
It is 2.
Okay, then this will be the combat order. You, then the corpse, then Gale. Before we do that, let's zoom back to town real quick. Mael, you get the impression that the search for whoever this was that was in the foreman's backyard is going to take an hour or two before they return. You can continue to wait during that time and just sort of catch him at the pub, or you may move about the rest of the town. What will you do?
I have something I want to do when I know he's distracted.
He's distracted right now.
Are there many people in the... Well, how far is it between his house and the tavern?
A couple 100 feet, probably.
100 feet, okay. Are there many people in the area?
There is a fair amount of coming and going. If you're hoping...
Anyone
Go ahead.
that looks out of the ordinary, stands out in any way whatsoever? It might be someone different, someone significant some way.
Are you looking for a mark, a source of information, or a threat? Like, what sort of vibes are you scanning for?
I'm looking for anyone that might be a significant or unique figure in the village in some way. So maybe they're the village elder, they're the a blacksmith, or anyone who appears to be significant or differentiated in some way.
Okay. Give me one moment. And while I'm doing this, while I'm taking care of who it is that you're meeting, vowels. Now that Sanpei's changed guise and collected a sprig of something, what will your next action, your next course of action be?
I'm gonna try and work my way to the mines. I'm
Okay.
going to assume that because I ran off in a mad dash, I'm not entirely sure where I am. I'm just gonna try and find my way to where I think the mines is and stay away from people that I don't know.
Okay. Well, again, I continue to figure out who it is that you're meeting. Give me a survival check. Trained or otherwise. 7. It's going to take you... You will be able to arrive after one round of... With a higher result, you would have been able to arrive immediately. You're going to arrive at the mines after 2 rounds of combat have elapsed. Then you'll be able to enter that scene. That's how we're going to handle that. So, the reeve of the town, the person who runs things sort of on behalf of Lady Millicenta because she's busy doing night stuff, the one who the folk of the city, the town, go to when they have problems and disputes that they don't feel need a knight's justice, is a tiefling who is fairly well dressed. Definitely not the fashion or garb of this area by any means, but has been living here for a while, you'd say, with a cursory inspection. And she is running around trying to organize to get everyone's story about what exactly they saw and organize any sort of search going on, just struggling to get a hold of the situation. There's a lot of different accusations and accounts being thrown about.
Okay. I'm going to... can you describe more specifically the exact layout of the house, of the foreman's house? Like,
Sure.
Is it secluded, or how is it positioned in relative to sightlines?
All right, so it's up against the town walls. It's like built up against the walls, which again is just a wooden palisade. There's a couple of towers where you can stand watch, but you can't walk around the walls. It's just stakes stuck in the ground. It is up against that. It's a single room house, very, very humble. It's got a door that leads out to the pigsty, and there's a small shed out in the pigsty. And that side of the house is away from the front door, which opens up onto one of the roads in the village. So it's not isolated from other buildings. There are other buildings nearby, close to it, some other houses mostly. And it's fairly close to the village gates.
Okay. I'm going to... If I'm standing in the pigsty, does it look like I'm visible to anyone in the vicinity?
It is possible to stand in the pigsty and avoid being seen as long as nobody comes around the corner. There are some sight lines, but it definitely has reduced sight lines.
All right. I'm going to introduce myself to this Reeve person and tell them that I saw something suspicious near the pigsty, and I wanted them to take a look at it with me. If I could just show them. Assuming they're alone. If I feel like I can isolate them, then if I don't feel like I can isolate them, I'm not going to attempt it.
It's going to be a tough sell to isolate them. She's talking with villagers constantly, and like as somebody runs past, she'll try to grab them and get them over here to tell her what's going on. That sort of thing.
Is this something I can roll for?
You could if you can pitch me on like how you're going to do it.
Basically, I just say that I thought I saw something suspicious in the area, but it's a bit embarrassing. So I would prefer to not bring it to everyone's attention. But I wanted to show it to them, to her. She. I wanted to show it to her to get her, make sure that she's aware of it.
Okay. I'm going to call that a deception check. And she's never met you and doesn't know why she should listen to you or trust you.
Can I give a reason?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm the merchant in town. The farmer Merrick, right? Said that you guys might be needing some wares in the area, and I know you haven't had many merchants through here, so I'm just here to offer my services. I actually sold something to the foreman earlier, and when I was there, I thought I saw something sort of odd, and that's when I noticed this thing that I want to show you.
Okay, give me a deception check. Not an easy sell here as an outsider with this story.
Oh.
Wow.
Yikes!
Wow. Okay.
That's not looking good. Oh no.
Do you have a clever idea for how this all went horribly wrong, or would you like me to come up with how it all went horribly wrong?
I'm scared of what you're gonna do. But I don't have an idea, so I guess I gotta let you do it.
All right.
This is where gnomes shines.
So your explanation is a little bit bungled. You trip over some of your words as you describe what happened and the suspicious thing that you saw. It sounded a lot like you said suspicious person, and it sounded a lot like you said that they were in the pigsty and that they were just there. And she doesn't like you. You're an outsider. You're telling her all this stuff about Farmer Brightmoon. She is having a bad day, and here's what she's going to do. She says, all right, you're going to take us to this suspicious person right now. And she grabs a couple of other villagers. They're going to flank you on either side. They're going to walk you over to the pigsty.
Oh boy.
I mean, they're going to try. You still have your free will if you want to do something about it.
Well, I'm going to just try to clarify and explain that the person's not here now, but I think they were here before, and you can see that there's this clearly some evidence in this area and near the pigsty.
Evidence of what? You are backpedaling. You may make an additional roll at disadvantage to try to cut your way through this.
A deception roll?
Yeah, probably. Unless you have something, unless you can sell it as something else. 2 6s. No, they're very much interested in taking you over to the pigsty to have you show them exactly what you're talking about.
Oh boy.
You can either allow yourself to be strong-armed or cause a scene.
No, I allow myself to go to the pigsty.
All right. Then they sort of start marching you over to the grime and the filth, and they're gonna make you go in first. And we're gonna go ahead and cut away from that. Back to the mines. Ayla and Oridus, you have just turned around the corner, and a spore-encrusted corpse is lurching towards you with obviously hostile intent. What do you do?
We immediately flinch back and try to get as far away from it while still keeping everything within our sights as possible. So I would say like about like here maybe. Not too close to the ravine. Don't want to, fall in.
Right.
But from this relatively safe, from immediate melee distance at least, about 15, 20 feet,
So
we would...
real quick note, in order to no, yeah, you're fine. That takes 15 feet of your movement. Carry on.
Yeah, so that's like the max per turn without...
No, you can go 30. 30 is your total.
Without using an action, right?
Nope, you can move up to 30 feet. You can move up to your speed on your turn without using up an action. So you still have 15 feet left, and you may still take an action.
For the action, though, I think we would like to cast a chill touch on this undead creature with hostile intent.
All right, you should be able to just click on it. And
I did.
Excellent. Survey says a 10. I believe a 10 is good enough to hit one of these. What does this do specifically to undead creatures?
So, what it does to undead creatures is first it does the damage, and they can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn. So, if they have a turn now, they can't heal themselves. But if they're undead, what it also does is that they have to roll disadvantage if they attack me.
Nice.
Until the end of my next turn.
Very nice.
That's cool.
You have 15 feet of movement left. Do you take it, or are you good to end your turn where you are?
No, I'm good where I am.
Okay. The spore-encrusted creature lurches towards the nearest source of life that it can find, which in this case is Gael. And with a moan, and I wish I could do the clicker noise from The Last of Us. That would come in handy right now.
Scary.
No, that's Dolphin. Totally different.
Yeah.
Does a 14 hit you?
No.
All right. It swings through the air. You parry easily with your martial arts. This is not a trained combatant. It has brute strength, and that is all. It is your turn. What do you do?
So I'm gonna do an unarmed strike.
Okay.
So I guess I click on him.
Oh, you don't have to click on... Oh, actually, I wonder if that works. Try it.
Oh.
See, it'd be great if it would auto-deduct the HP, but mostly you just click on your thing, and I'll tell you if it hits.
Oh, gotcha. And then I would just click under... I would unarmed action. Or unarmed attack.
Click on unarmed attack. It should do the whole roll for you. All right. An 18. It's a good strike. What's your martial arts like?
I guess... Oh, that's a good question. I guess it would be very... like Muay Thai, like.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing really fancy, just good technique, strong strikes.
Okay. Kick or a punch?
I'm gonna go with punch for this one.
All right. You feel just this splorch. Its flesh is spongier than it ought to be, as much of it has been replaced with this fibrous fungal material. And so you deal a heavy strike and you crush part of it, and it continues to function with that part crushed. But you do inflict good damage. Back up to the top. Ayala and Oridus, what do you do?
Oh. Oh, I don't know. I guess I'll hit it again with something a little more, No, I think another chill touch probably would do the trick.
All right. Roll it.
It's a can.
It is a cantrip. 10, and you inflict 8 points of damage. This spectral hand floats through the air and seizes it, disrupting its life force. Your attack is enough to reduce it to 0 hit points, but it has a special ability where it gets to roll a saving throw, and if it makes a save, it simply does not die.
I have the same thing.
Oh, neat. Cool. Survey says...
Strength of the Grey.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it. You drain the life from its body. Its unlife, the fungal tendrils animating it, fail and die, and it collapses dead to the ground. And at about that moment, Sanpei rolls up to the mines.
Oh, hello.
I've added you to the front door. Should be able to see your piece. You are over here.
I can see everything.
You can see
Oh,
the whole
that's
map?
Yes.
Literally the whole map? Or just a lot of bright light?
I can see the whole map.
That's so odd. Huh. Can you still see the whole
No,
map?
I can too.
Huh. What ungodly
Spoilers.
powers does he have?
Oh, I still can't, funny enough.
Ah!
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So I couldn't see the whole map before. I assume during combat you added me onto the map ready to go, and then suddenly I could see everything.
Yeah, I can currently see everything in this room as well.
Alright, so you can see basically, you can scroll through the entire map and see every single chord. That's so strange.
Yes, I can.
Oh, I guess they haven't worked out all the dynamic lighting bugs
Yeah,
yet.
I am scrolling around the whole map and I can see everything.
Huh. Very curious. Well, let's just kill this and see what happens. Did that change anything?
I can't see other rooms though, but I can see like the entire cave.
Yeah, I can still see the entire cave.
So strange. Oh, you know, now I can too.
I still can't. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Well, a flash of divine insight washes over you.
My racial elf dark vision is just really, really good.
Yeah, he procs his ultimate and he gets the location of all enemies immediately.
Wow.
All right, so having arrived, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna. Did I hear the sounds of combat at all?
Yeah, you're welcome to join with the rest of the party.
Yeah,
It's reasonable for you to simply do so.
Yeah, I'm just gonna join the party.
All right, go ahead and move yourself up there. You should have control over your character.
Sup?
And what will a lot of you do?
I guess we gotta keep exploring because
I definitely want to. Layla wants to go up and grab the remains of the zombie and see if it feels to the touch like the crops did, like gravelly and crumbly and slimy.
Oh yeah, go for it.
It does. It does. It does. It feels maybe not exactly the same, but a very similar texture.
I look up to my party and say, whatever made this is definitely what's also behind the stupid blight. I honestly kind of hope that we find more of these little buggers.
Okay, so the mines are connected. Now we know that, but we have to keep looking because we don't all we know is that they are connected, not how, why, who, all the W's.
Right. I'm guessing it's okay that we can see the whole map. Given,
yeah, I
or
mean,
should I pretend that we still couldn't?
Act as if you cannot, but we're aiming to be shutting down in about half an hour here to hit that 3-hour time. So if the forces of the universe have conspired to usher
Well, you know what?
end, that's
This
fine.
way definitely looks like a dead end anyway because the bridge is broken.
The
So
ravine, yeah,
I definitely do not want to take a plunge into a ravine.
big same.
Or this is probably gonna be like, if you're done feeling that dead dude, get a move on.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Layla would roll her eyes and start walking our conjoined legs up the other way. Oh, I clicked my character. Now I can't see stuff again. Wonderful.
Oh,
Super weird. I'm gonna have to experiment more
I
with
just
the new lighting.
I just moved it. And we're not an initiative, so I can go as far as I want, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
Just
So I
keep
guess
in
we-
mind if you walk right through something, stuff could happen.
That fixed it for me as well.
Excellent. All right, the flash of divine insight has passed.
Through something. What does that mean?
like through doors, I guess. Traps, mayhaps.
If it doesn't block
Well-
line of sight, assume you can move through it. But like if you're just walking, if you happen to pass through a square that has a rune of instant character annihilation and killing you in real life, then that's not my problem.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well,
All right, great. So
I,
as you walk through that area,
Oh no.
I believe Layla and Ordis went through first. So please roll a dexterity saving throw. Oh,
Oh, not
Hey.
bad.
all right. A magically concealed invisible rope that was hanging around in the ground whips up into the air and just floats. Had it grabbed you, it would have dangled you by your ankle above the ground, and it just floats there under its own power, but you managed to avoid it at the last second. Let us,
Nice.
having passed through that obstacle, let us return to our friend Mael back in the village of Lomthall, who is being escorted under, I wouldn't say trained guard, but burly guard to the pigsty, where, as chat suggested earlier, you find a pig with a boot print on it.
That's the suspicious thing I'm going to point out is the boot on the pig, because that's not normal.
All right, so you just say, look, there's a boot print on that pig. That ain't normal.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm going with. That's what we're rolling with that one.
All right, is that, they're going to ask you, is that all you got? Is that everything you saw?
That's better than nothing. That's all I have for you.
Outsiders. Blah. All right, well, one of them is going to wade in. The Reeve sort of tells one of them to go in there and do the dirty work, and they'll roll their eyes and go wading through the muck to poke the pig. Everything here seems to be in order, but we did see somebody covered in filth and muck run that way. Say, how about you join us in the search?
Well, I don't know anything about this village or where to even start looking. I've never been here before. You said it yourself. I think it's best that I just hang out at the tavern and wait until you find whoever is causing a ruckus around here.
Roll persuasion.
Oh, also, may I interject a roll 20 question?
Yes.
If I have a skill, should the box be checked?
Yes, if you are proficient in the skill, lower vowels. If you're proficient in the skill, that's perfect. Then it should be checked.
Okay, so none of mine are checked.
That
And I assume that the
is
character
very
mancer would do that correctly.
odd. Yeah, that's very
Um,
strange. Let's take a look.
So I think I should have deception is from my criminal background,
Mhm.
and I think I picked a few other. I can't remember what I picked, to be honest.
Well, let's take a look real quick. Criminal background. You would get deception and stealth. Go ahead and check those off. And as a rogue, you would have been able to select, and you're human. As a rogue, waiting for it to
3 or 4.
load. Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 skills.
Okay.
You would get.
I'm trying to. I did pick these before. I just didn't stick them.
It didn't take for some reason. No, that's fine. This is totally reasonable.
I think persuasion, perception. How many? 3 or 4?
I'm checking right now. You get 4 skills.
Okay, I'm going to do
Persuasion and
persuasion, perception, intimidation, and sleight of hand.
Okay, done and done.
I think that's pretty sure what I had.
It's all
previously,
legal
so-
picks. All legal picks.
Not switching it in the middle.
Totally fine.
So I'm not going to try to re-roll anything I did before, but yeah, my goal here is to get them to be less suspicious of me and get to the tavern.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check now that we've fixed everything.
Persuasion.
And turn off
Oh,
disadvantage.
I still have disadvantage on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that off.
Roll
And
it again.
No, we'll just take the first of the two. I think that's my general rule, is you take the first number, because they don't automatically line up by number. They're just two different results. So we'll go with the 17. So you're able to sort of get them off your back. The Reeve is, because she doesn't trust you, she is going to have you escorted back to the tavern, and then you'll be left on your own. You object or take any
fine with
action to the
that.
contrary?
I'm going to go to the tavern, and once I get there, I'm going to strike up casual conversation with anybody there, but going to unsuspiciously as possible make the conversation about the foreman, good, bad, whatever. Just sort of follow the lead of the villagers and to kind of see what their opinions are of him.
Okay. I will allow insight or persuasion on this, with different results depending on which skill you use.
My persuasion's much higher, so we're doing that one.
Okay, yeah.
Ooh.
You strike up a pretty good conversation. Let's see what we can learn about this.
Specifically, anybody that doesn't like him.
Well, he inherited the job of the foreman from his ma, who ran it before. But he's not her husband's son. And all of his other siblings met a terrible fate that I wrote down somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, they all met with tragedy in the woods. Either one of them went missing and the other one was killed by something. Nobody ever figured out what, but their throat was torn out. So he ended up inheriting the role nonetheless.
So all of his siblings and his ma were killed in the woods?
No, his ma just, died of old age. But both of his siblings, who were, from his ma and her husband, died. One went missing in the woods. The other one had their throat torn out by something.
Is it public knowledge that he's not his?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But do they dislike him, or they just kind of know that about him?
Well, some people sort of, disapprove of all that. But most of the time, he definitely drinks too much, and he sleeps around as much as possible. He's never given any indication that he wants to settle down whatsoever. Got in a fight years ago and lost some of his teeth. It was with somebody's spouse, but
did he win the fight?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And it was somebody's spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to either see if I can get any more information on either the person who he beat in the fight, or anybody who he's slept with. Whoever is, if one of them is in the tavern right now, then that's the person I'm trying to figure out.
That's a delicate line of inquiry. There's definitely gossips out there, but they're not necessarily eager to share that sort of information with an outsider. You want to give me a roll?
Persuasion again?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, the blacksmith is in right now. He's having an ale, and a couple of people kind of eye over and let you know that he's been around the foreman's house a time or two.
Okay.
It wasn't the blacksmith's wife who got in a fight with the foreman, but there's talk.
Okay, interesting. I'm going to talk a whole lot to the blacksmith about the foreman guy then.
Okay. And while you strike up that completely innocuous conversation between a stranger and somebody who may have been unfaithful inside of a small town with their gossip, we're going to head back to the mine real fast, where you've just avoided a sneaky trap. And
sometimes I'm glad you're the one who controls the legs.
And up in the corner, around the corner, you see another one of those fungal corpses. It has not reacted to your presence yet, and you can only barely see its hand attached to the wall above this pathway right here. You know that it's there. It has almost total cover against you, and it has not moved yet.
I'm so curious about these things, you guys. I wonder if we can do some experiments on this next one before we destroy it. Because they're not putting up much of a fight.
Like what?
It is undead, and
Yeah.
as an infernal being myself, I wonder if we chop off a limb, if we could use that severed limb to infect some of the vegetation around us outside this cave ourselves. Man,
What would knowing that do for you?
It'd be cool.
It would be cool. It would be cool for one, but it would also help. I think it would help us glean whether or not this blight is like some sort of natural disaster versus a something done intentionally, maliciously by a person or an entity.
I don't suppose any of you two know anything about berries. And I pull out the barberry I got earlier.
That would be a nature, religion, in order of applicability. Nature, religion, or arcana. Nature being the most relevant.
I
Nature.
got
Arcana.
nothing. I'm gonna go arcana just because.
Sorry,
it's
what was? Sorry, you said nature. What was it?
Nature, then religion, then arcana. If you're
Okay, I got
untrained,
neither
you're
of
still allowed
those.
to roll, but you may only make one of those rolls. Someone was talking who was saying something.
It's beat.
No, I was just saying. Okay.
Yep. So you may make one knowledge roll. Pick. Send it.
Oh my god, I yeeted one where I had no bonus, and I still got it. I nailed it.
Fog.
I've been so
Holy.
lucky.
All right. So here's what you know about barberry. It can make a nice pie, and it's got sort of like a rhubarb of the wild barberry. At least has this sort of like rhubarb spice to it. But
Okay.
here's what else you know. It looks extremely similar to holly or mistletoe. And a sprig of holly or mistletoe is used by druids as their mystical focus in order to cast druidic magic. The sprig that he's holding is the exact like sort of cutting one would use, but it would not allow you to actually use any magic.
So do I know that it's just barberry and not holly?
Yes, all that information is what you are aware of. It looks
Okay.
like the stuff druids use to cast their spells. It is not.
And Sampe, you've just asked us if I know anything about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out by the river and I noticed someone had cut a sprig like this. And just thought it was worth checking out.
Yeah, all that's gonna do is make another one of those lovely pies.
All right. So somebody just throws it at the dead thing in the corner.
All right. It flies through the air, and you're pretty good at this, so it hits it, and the hand rips itself out of the wall
What a good noise.
as it begins lurching towards you.
Amazing.
Once again, with feeling, click on your character and roll for initiative.
I can no longer see anything. That's interesting.
Yeah, me either. It's all
Wow.
gone black for me.
That's super weird. Anything change when I do this or this or this?
No,
Nope.
no, and
Okay.
no.
Let me try something real fast.
How did the zombie get -1 initiative?
It has a penalty to its dexterity of
Get bad.
-2, and it rolled like a 1. Okay, so let's
Somebody's
try
gotta
this.
cut this little shit's hand off because I want to try and infect stuff.
I don't have anything sharp, so that's not gonna work.
I got a dagger. I probably could if you get it weakened.
I mean, they're already pretty weak. We did like 15 damage total,
Yeah.
and it got
No,
dumped.
we did more than 15, but I don't know what the threshold is.
Hmm.
We did
Still,
24,
no, still. The point is they suck.
22. Sorry.
The two of us were okay. So I think with San Pellegrino, yes,
Wait,
we will
Use
be
your
fine.
words.
Thank you.
before we end this stream, after this one shot is over, I have to check something with you, Pete.
Me specifically.
Yes, you specifically.
I'm slightly concerned, but okay.
Now is not the time. We should be playing the game, but when it's done,
You
I have to-
are right. Okay.
I'm fixing the light. You have a moment while I fix the light.
Okay, well, if I have a moment.
Oh God. Where is she going? Guys, if I
She
die...
has gone to get a drink called a San Pellegrino because that's what my character is named after. And the fact that you can't pronounce San Pellegrino makes us think you've never tried one before. I assume that's why this is.
That's definitely what's
That is
happened.
100% correct. And look at this shit. Have you never had one of these?
I have not, but now that I'm looking at the can, we do have that here.
Okay,
It's so good.
so
Hashtag sponsored. Hashtag ad.
yeah, backstory time. My first ever D&D campaign, I had the idea for this character, but I couldn't think of a name for him, and my DM at the time made a joke about just name it after your least favorite drink or something. Just coming up with new ideas, and I
Your
really
least favorite?
I've never tried orange San Pellegrino, but
Aranciata is the best by far. But
the
lemon does suck.
Limonata success. So I remember
You picked like the worst
tried it.
one.
I tried it for the first time literally a week before I started that campaign. So it was the first thing that came to mind when it was a bad drink.
Yeah,
And
that's fair enough.
And San Pellegrino stuck. So
Yeah, the limon and limonata are both completely garbage. Just absolutely worth. They just taste like pain.
Okay, question for the group. Is the lighting fixed?
Yes.
Great. I turned off the new
Yes.
lighting and I just switched back to the old stuff.
You'll love to see it.
And
It does look different.
yeah.
It is more linear.
Yeah, it's going to be more blocky, less sophisticated, but hopefully less buggy, and that's what Christmas is all about.
Yes, sir.
Now, I don't have anybody's dark vision turned on, but to be fair, it just lets you see in bright light as if it was dim light. And I didn't ask if any of you had light sources because there are torches on throughout the cave. So if any of you turns on a light source of any kind, you got to let me know. Outside of that, let's get back to it.
I'm fine with the torches.
All right. Descending. All right, we're going to do one round of combat. We're going to go back to the village and see what Mael's up to. Gale, you are first. You see the creature in the corner.
Before I attack, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So you want its arm before it dies. What if I kill it really fast and you cut its arm off?
That's cool too. As long as it's restrained or if it's dead and I can cut the arm off really quickly, that's fine.
Fantastic. So I'm gonna go give it another head kick.
Okay, you are free to move about the cabin. Keep in mind, however, that this terrain right here, this is a ramp that goes up. So it's difficult terrain, double movement to cross here. But if you're standing up here, you have the high ground and you'll get advantage if you attack it.
Oh, okay.
And also all this stuff here, like this huge fungus and these crates, also difficult terrain. And this cart. So if you want to make a clear cut of it, you're going to need to do something like this. And remember, you can right click to plot out your movement.
Gotcha. So
You're a wood elf.
I have 45, yeah.
Oh, 45 because you're a monk. Dip.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so it says about 30 feet to get, 25 feet to get here.
Yeah, and this square is going to cost you double, so 30 feet, but that'll still get you there.
Cool. So I'm going to do that.
All right. Yeah, you got to switch
A little bit of parkour.
Right. A little bit of parkour.
All right, and now you have
I
the
hear
high
if
ground.
you yell parkour, you go faster.
You got advantage on the check if you yell parkour.
Oh, okay, parkour.
But you now have the high ground, and you may make this attack with advantage.
Cool. You love to see it. I'm going to take that first one. And so it does 8 damage.
All right, a solid blow. You've managed to, like, a cloud of spores puffs out from it, and bits and pieces of shelf fungus fall off. That was a solid hit.
But also, I want to spend a key point to use Flurry of Blows.
Ooh, we go again?
Yeah, we go again.
Okay.
So basically, it says right after I attack, I can spend a key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. So I'm just going to go ahead and make 2 unarmed strikes.
These unarmed strikes also have advantage.
Wow, that's great.
All because you yelled parkour.
So first one is going to do 9 damage. I imagine 24 hits.
Oh yeah, and now it's looking really bad. It's starting to fall apart.
Cool. Here's number 2.
Natural
20.
Okay.
Let's go.
What happens to the thing? Well, actually, it still gets a saving throw. Because it is basically a zombie. So we're just gonna roll this real fast. 10 points of damage. It needs to beat what's go ahead.
The strength, if it's Strength of the Grave, if that's the ability, you can't do the saving throw if you get hit by a crit hit.
I don't think it's exactly that.
Okay, well then carry on.
No, it's a different ability, but it's exactly that. So the save would have been forfeit anyways. Good catch.
Wow.
What happens to the thing?
I kick its head off.
Destroy the brain. All right. It's at about the right height, so you just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3 points,
the
I
thing.
believe.
Yeah, somewhere somebody pops out. Go ad infinitum. That was easy.
And we never see that person again. Wonderful.
And what do you do next?
Are we out of initiative now that we're that the zombie's dead?
Well, I'll let you finish your turn, and I'll let Sanpei go. Just still in initiative order, and then we'll see from there. So that was your action, and you have like 10 feet of movement left if you want to spend it.
I'm good. No, I think I'm good where I am.
Okay. Sanpei, everything seems to be in good order. What would you like to do?
I believe I can get here. I've got 35, and it's only double movement over one thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll go there, and then from there, even though I'm above it, can I reach down and slice one of the limbs off?
Yes.
Yes. Slice one of the limb, slice its arm off, and then throw it out across to Lyella and annoy it.
Okay. At that moment, you hear a voice coming from the south passage, incanting a chant of some kind, calling out to the fungus and the spores in the air themselves.
Ooh.
And go ahead.
Does the arm that I'm holding react to this?
Not yet.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, all around you, the ground itself erupts with
Cool.
spiky fungus that just rises up with a hardened coat and fills the entire area surrounding the majority of you. I'm going to create a spell effect that will cover this. Let's see, it's a 20-foot radius, so we'll use this thing. It erupts from the ground, turning everything in its path into difficult terrain that is spiky and dangerous and unpleasant and bad.
Sick.
And we'll
Jeez.
put it right, and I'm going to send this to the back in a moment. Right here. And as this emerges, you see a figure walking forward from the South Passage, right here. She is cloaked, and there appears to be shelf fungus and these roots just growing through her arms and a whole like mushroom coming out of her back as she casts this spell and spikes rise up. Layla and Ordis, it's your turn. You recognize that if you... Let's see. If you move deeper into this territory, you will take damage.
Okay. Most of my stuff is ranged, so I'm totally comfortable with retreating back. Wait, I should probably right-click the measure. How did... I can't seem to do that for some reason.
So click on your piece so that it's like dragged, but you haven't dropped it yet. Then right-click and see what happens. That should give you the thing. It looks like you... So once you've clicked on it, but it's still a shadow, like you haven't dropped it, while you're still holding it, right-click, and that should give you... It's interesting because it's just pinging as if it's detecting a click and hold. A click and hold should be a ping.
Yeah, it's doing both.
Interesting.
Well, either way, judging by this, that's like barely even 10. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you can definitely get to there. And now the distance is 45 feet.
Sweet. That's still within range of most of my spells. I don't have to detect thoughts back because I haven't long rested.
You're a sorcerer, and that's a level 2 spell slot, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, as if you have any level 2 spell slots left, you can continue to cast the spells you have prepared. You just can only prepare a limited. So the way it works is every day you load X spells, right? Just like it was in the earlier editions. But instead of it being you can only cast Detect Thoughts once, if Detect Thoughts is one of the spells you have loaded for the day, then as long as you have level 2 spell slots left, you can continue to cast Detect Thoughts. But it's like you have a spell list every single day, and you can change it every day. Well, you're a sorcerer. You can't change your spell list.
It says slots remaining 0.
Let's take a look at your sheet real fast.
I don't know why. It says slots total 3, and I've only used one of them. But
okay, so what it's probably doing is it's counting up instead of counting down. So if you've only used 1, tick it up by 1, and when it reaches 3, you're out.
Okay.
So
it didn't automatically tick up when I used it, so...
Yeah, I don't think it does that, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a limitation of the system.
Fair enough. Well, in that case... I think this person is already hostile, so I'm just going to cast Fireball.
Fireball?
Fireball at level 3.
Okay, give me a moment.
Jesus.
I don't need to know if they're hostile or not.
I didn't ask.
That's a ball.
Yeah, I didn't ask how big the room is. I said I cast Fireball.
Oh.
So, here you go. Here's a fireball.
No, at them. At them,
no, I know.
Sure.
Give me 1 sec, and it's all yours. Where would you like to place the fireball? You now have control over it.
Oh, sick.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Right?
Put it very safely and kindly right on this person's noggin.
Okay, so it's a DC 15 dexterity save, 22 points of damage on a failed save.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So
it's pretty OP.
It's Fireball. It's one of the classic spells in the game.
A ball do fire.
All right, I'm gonna roll a dexterity saving throw. Survey says...
Oh, not even close.
Nope. The fireball explodes and just wreathing this figure in flame, who 1 takes 22 points of damage, and 2 must make a Constitution saving throw to continue concentrating on the spike growth spell. Natural 20. So it's
Oh,
it's a
boy.
telling strike. Like the fireball goes off and she withers and shrieks as the fungal outcroppings smolder and you hear this sickening popping sound. But she maintains her control and the fungal spikes underneath your feet remain. That is going to be top of the round, and we're going to take a quick break to go back to town. Mael, where do we leave you?
Okay, so I'm talking to the blacksmith.
Yes.
I'm going to give the buy a couple drinks for the blacksmith.
Mm-hmm. Drop some
Get
coin
them-
from your inventory, but that'll go some distance.
So get the blacksmith nice and buzzed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask the blacksmith to come out and look at some of the gear that I have that's damaged to see if he would be able to fix any of the stuff on my cart.
Okay. Yeah, sure. He'll take a look. He's an expert in this sort of stuff.
And preferably I wait until night to do all this. I don't know if we're drinking in the evening now, but that's kind of my goal.
We can do that. It'll be nighttime by the time that they return, even if they turn around and leave right now in the middle of the combat.
Perfect. So we're outside at night. I've asked him to inspect some of my wares if he thinks he can repair it.
Mm-hmm.
So far he's amenable to all that.
Yeah, he's here for it.
All right. Anybody in the immediate vicinity? We're outdoors next to my cart, which is near enough to the tavern.
It's not super populated. There's some people here or there. If you're looking to do something surreptitious, you can find a window of opportunity, but not like a huge span.
All right. During whatever window of opportunity I might have, I am going to take time to ask him to inspect my rapier that I've been carrying.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand it over to him hilt first.
All right.
Ask him to inspect it and wait for him to hand it back over to me.
Okay. I'll take a look, and the blacksmith is not a weaponsmith per se. This is the blacksmith who handles most of the tools. So Antoine knows a couple of things about sword making, but wouldn't consider himself an expert. But he's not about to tell that to a random passerby who he's never met before. So he'll loudly say that, "Oh yeah, this is decent make. I'm sure that you could find better." Milicenta keeps a weaponsmith on staff that's quite good, but if you can't do any better, this will be fine, and I'll hand it back.
Perfect. And this is the window of opportunity with no one around?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to make a surprise attack at his throat as he hands it back to me.
Okay. Roll sleight of hand. Everyone's just like... and make
It's spicy.
I see what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what's happening here. Either you're just a murder hobo sociopath, or I know where this is going. Roll an attack with advantage.
So I have this. Whoops. I have that. So
if you hit, it's a crit. And you actually
Yes.
would have just had the... so if you hit, it's a crit. There might be a button under your weapon table, although yours was a character sheet that was messed up, that will turn on your sneak attack.
Yep. So I check sneak attack and I hit rapier.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Why'd you gotta do him like that?
Oh, he's so
Oof.
dead.
Okay, roll again, and that's just going to be, because this is a critical hit, roll again, and we're just going to add up all the damage, minus your bonus, so, minus 4, okay, so, 33 points of damage, instantaneous silent death,
Oh my god.
as
Cool.
Antoine the blacksmith is assassinated. And what are you going to do with the corpse?
Rip
So
in
we
peace.
are going to grab any old piece of cloth, anything I have in my cart, gonna wrap it up and throw it in the cart.
Okay. You now have a corpse in a cart, and what are you going to do with that?
Going back to the foreman's house.
I knew it. Okay.
Interesting.
I was like, this is not just, fragging people for no reason. There's a reason.
Mhm.
Oh, there is a reason.
All right, Gael, it's your turn. The ground underneath you has just erupted into spikes. And a huge explosion just went off behind you, and there is a hostile-looking person with large fungal growths attacking you. What will you do?
Can I run up and punch them?
You can, but this ground is difficult terrain, and you will take damage when you move through it. Every square you move through will inflict damage.
And this is like only the green spaces,
Correct.
right? Or just gotcha.
Only the green spaces.
So I could do something like, let's see. So I can do this.
Yes. Now,
Cool.
you wouldn't be able to if you weren't a wood elf monk, because the green spaces are also difficult terrain, so that counts double, but you still have enough movement. However,
Oh, right.
you are going to take, from moving through that square, 6 points of piercing damage.
Oh. Yeah, so I can just...
If you click on
do
yourself,
minus.
click in the green bubble that pops up, and do -6 and hit enter. It'll automatically reduce your hit points for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there you go. And you can move yourself into position. You've spent 1 key point, and it's your turn.
So I'm just gonna hit her.
Okay. Roll the attack. This is not an advantage. This is a normal attack.
The old
Oh
smackaroonie.
yeah, let me fix that.
Okay, that's not bad. All right. As you approach and go for the strike, it does land, inflicting... let me double check that just to make sure, because 26 is absolutely a hit.
Yeah, okay.
But as you strike, a cloud of spores erupts outwards, and they burrow into your flesh, draining the vital nutrients. As her reaction, she inflicts 6 more points of damage. Now, that was her reaction. She can't take another one until her next turn. But the strike is good. Anything else on your turn?
I'm debating attacking again, but if it's every time I hit her, probably not great.
No, it's a reaction, and you only get 1 reaction until, once you've used a reaction, it's offline until your next turn. So she can't do that again until her next turn.
Okay, then I will absolutely spend a key point and I'll use Flurry of Blows.
All right.
And...
You attack twice more.
Yes.
The second one's definitely a hit. The first one, a 16. Yeah. 2 more good strikes. Bam, bam. 19 points of damage. She's going to roll a Constitution saving throw to avoid losing concentration on her Spike Stone spell.
Cool.
A 12 is not enough. The fungal growths wither and pass.
Also, because of my class,
Mhm.
I can use Drunken Technique to, after using Flurry of Blows, I can use Disengage, even though I've already used up my action.
Interesting. So you can use Flurry of Blows, and then without using another bonus action, you just get to disengage?
Yes.
That's pretty good. You can move up to your speed, and you will not provoke any attacks of opportunity.
Hell yeah. I'm just going to chill back here because I'm hurting just a little bit. Maybe here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, that's my turn.
All right. On her turn, it's actually not her turn, but she uses a legendary action.
Oh
A
God.
cloud of spores surrounds her. Mushrooms and shell fungus grow over to cover the wounds, granting her not healing, but temporary hit points, and surrounding her with a cloud of spores. She has extra health now on top of her, because she was already beaten up and bloodied. She just layered on extra health. Sanpei, it is your turn.
Can Ortis make a pun out of turn?
Yes, punning is a free action.
Well, she doesn't seem like a very fun guy.
Boo.
Sanpei just
Boo.
okay, so do I still have advantage because high ground?
No, because the high ground only grants you advantage on attacks you make within melee range, basically.
Okay. So if Guile wasn't a coward, I would get sneak attack here.
Correct.
But I don't.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So yeah, that's just going to be short bow.
Oh, natural 20. That's good.
Ooh.
11
That makes
points
up for
of
your
damage.
3 crit fails.
Yeah, a little bit.
That
A little bit.
comes off the top of the fungal shield that she projected, which is now nearly halfway gone.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Beefy boss. Do you move or take any other actions on your turn? You can use a bonus act. You can move, and you're allowed to use a bonus action to hide as a rogue.
I'm going to use my bonus action to hide.
Okay, where are you going to hide? You'll need cover of some kind. So you'll need to drop behind the rock or move out of sight somewhere.
I'm going to run up here.
All right,
Around the
go ahead.
corner.
Place yourself accordingly with your movement, and you are in position. Inside this chamber, you notice amongst the tables and the chests and the equipment lying about, there is a folded piece of parchment on this table right here. You can't really tell too much else about it at this range, and you can't interact with it because you're not in movement range.
Okay.
All right. It's her turn. She is going to cast Entangle. That is a 20-foot square. Let me see if I have one of those lying around. It doesn't look right, but I'm going to use it anyways. All right, so that's a 10-foot square, 15-foot square. That is a 20-foot square. That's a 20. Nope. That is a 20-foot square. So she's going to plunk this, let's see, on the monk. So roots grow up from below, attempting to ensnare you. You must roll a strength saving throw.
Okay. Okay. You said strength saving throw?
That's correct.
So I will click strength and cool.
21. All right. So you're not restrained, but this area is difficult terrain. That's actually not the size I want it to be. There we go. That's perfect. That's great. And because it's actually about that large, we'll put it right there. All right. So it's difficult terrain to move through, but you're not restrained, which would have really been a bad time.
Yeah.
That is it for her. Layla and Ortis, what will you do?
Oh boy. Well, she's still not dead.
She's definitely getting there.
Yeah, she'll get there. What I don't know is if she has similar properties to these zombies or not. And I'm still holding this arm, or I rather have made the arm on Ortis' side hold this arm. And it has not yet reacted to any of this funky business. I shall chuck Ye old. Wait, is this a bad idea? Are we using components? I chose arcane focus through like a wand.
Does the spell have any, do any of the components have a gold cost?
It's a diamond worth at least 50 GP.
Yes. Now, because of, just the way that everything works, I will allow you to spend, if you have 50 gold in your inventory, I'll let you just say, okay, I want to have a diamond that's worth 50 gold, because it's a one shot, right? So if you've got that, you're welcome to spend it. If not, you do need to have that in your inventory to cast it.
I don't, so I guess that's out the window. In that case, I will chill toucher again.
Okay. Roll a spell attack. A 14. It has trouble getting through the fungal armor, and while some of it dies, it's not enough to inflict any damage. That will be a miss. You still have movement left over.
She doesn't seem to be advancing. I don't want to go too far back because then I'll be out of view of the combat. I don't think I'm gonna move, except maybe like 5 feet just so that I'm not standing above the ravine.
That's probably for the best. All right, we'll do one more round of combat, and then we'll cut back to the village. Gale, it's your turn. You are surrounded by fungal growths.
Yeah, I'm debating just like, She still has her reaction too.
Yes, it has refreshed.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to proc that right now with my low amount of HP. It did like 6 damage. I might risk it for the biscuit.
I like your style. It's double
Yeah.
movement to
Hell
get
yeah.
through, but it's, as you can tell, it's not that much.
Right, yeah, so that's 10, 20, 25, 30.
Diagonals are
Yeah.
allowed.
Oh, right. Okay, so 5, 10. No, sorry, 10, 20, 25, 30. Nope. I gotta switch back to the cursor.
Yep, you definitely got the movement. You move into position, and
I will unarmed attack.
okay. It's a hit, and she immediately activates her reaction. You take 1 point of damage.
Oh, thank God. Cool. So I'm gonna also again spend another key point, and I'm gonna go for 2 unarmed strikes with flurry of blows.
Excellent. Yeah, they're both good. And that last strike destroys the fungal armor that she has activated.
Let's go.
And are you able to use your withdraw ability again?
Yeah, it doesn't.
However, that will move you out of range, and it will remove. Oh no, Sanpei can make a stealth. Sanpei, I forgot to have you roll a stealth check. Please roll a stealth check.
Yeah, that's also part of what I was thinking too. I might hang around just so he can actually get shoot, what's it called?
Sneak attack.
Thank you. Yeah, so I will just hang back right here.
All right, you hold the line. Your turn, Sanpei. What do you do? You are hidden.
It was so generous of you to hold the line, but Sanpei, first and foremost, Sanpei likes to collect things. So Sanpei's just going to have a look around this room.
I'm going to beat up Sanpei.
All right, investigation 26. Very good.
Good lord, that's huge.
You find a cache of silver and copper trade bars. No, actually, it shouldn't be trade bars. It should be shavings. shavings from trade bars, scraped away surreptitiously. A nice pile of them. It's probably it's like 300 copper worth, just chunks and chunks of copper, and 150 silver. Easy.
Jeez.
And a letter. You read Elvish, yes?
Yes.
All right. The letter reads, Prem, a name, obviously. For the sake of my father and my father's people, our people, I need your help. By your arts, you can bring the fields of Lomthall to ruin. We will make an offering of this place to the Autumn Queen. I've been stowing away some of the copper and silver of the mines, meant for Lady Millicenta, the human fool, and can pay you from it. The chance to make things right with your people is worth considerably more. Let us meet again soon, B.
Cool. I stashed a letter and the shavings.
Mm-hmm. And that would have taken, again, a round of combat is 6 seconds. So I'm going to say that probably consumed your action to scope out the room and grab stuff.
That's absolutely fine by me.
B as in Bravo was the letter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
I can't believe that letter was sent by someone named Bravo.
Weird, right?
Potentially Johnny
Yeah.
Bravo.
Man, I'm
Yeah,
pretty.
first name Jonathan. That was a really good Johnny Bravo. Wow.
All right. Well, it is her turn. And what awful things can she do since you're standing in her territory?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's have her. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Cool.
Cool. Very cool. Very normal. Very cool.
Yeah. Cool.
She casts Thunder Wave.
Oh, that is less cool.
It's fine. We'll be fine.
I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
God damn it. Constitution saving throw.
10.
Oh, no.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Oh,
we'll
no.
Be fine.
I'm way over here, buddy. I got nothing to complain about. When I say we, I mean me and Orden.
Yeah, I keep forgetting there's two of you.
Me and Ordis are totally cool.
All right, so that didn't work out exactly how I wanted, but you do take 13 points of damage. Are you unconscious?
Nope.
All right, and you get blasted 10 feet away, directly
Thank God,
back
honestly.
into the Entangle spell.
10 feet. How does that work?
She's going to position herself right here, and you're going to go there. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not showing. You're going to go there. Right there.
Ow.
Back into the Entangle spell.
Pog champion.
All right, Lila and Ortis, your turn.
Definitely some concern for our friend over here.
Yeah. Not looking so good.
No. Well, we're already over time, so I don't suspect we'll get into another engagement before the long rest. So I'm willing to invest another fireball in this just because I'd want to save my good buddy here.
You know, it's funny. I have this old thing lying around that,
Oh my god. Oh god.
I just didn't know what to do with it, so I'm glad that somebody does. Here you go. Where'd you like to drop that thing?
The problem is all my only other offensive spell that will do any kind of real damage is a level 1 spell that requires 50 GP that I don't have.
Which spell?
And everything else is Chromatic Orb.
Oh.
Everything else is Deceptive or Inquisitive.
You don't have Fire Bolt?
The cantrip?
I do a Firebolt, but it's a cantrip. It'll only do 1d10. I don't think that's gonna.
Oh.
Well,
yeah.
Let's play geometry. Go ahead and see if you can place this somewhere without fragging everybody. I'm just gonna move that to the back. There. Well, actually, do you have line of sight to that? Yeah, you've definitely got line of sight to that. Yeah, that's doable.
Okay, and that's 55 feet, and this goes 150. So
yeah, it's a long range barrage. Okay, click the button that makes the thing go boom.
I clicked it.
25 points of damage.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, I'm scared for you, buddy. You gotta live through.
The great thing about these one-shots is that there's usually not time for more than one. Like, unless the party just wants to fight, and the characters that you folks rolled were not characters who just want to fight. Unless the party just wants to fight, you're going to have 1 to 2 engagements, which means that you're going to be able to bust out all the stops and just go Nova.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. I mean,
True.
it's 22 minutes past when we said we would end, so I'm down to just invest everything.
All right.
Down to clown.
Down to clown. I made my save, so I will take 12 points of damage. And go back to the Dungeon Master's lair, please. Thank you. A strong blow, but not enough to finish the fight. And you know what? Since we're fairly close to the end of said fight, let's wrap up the fight, and then we'll let everybody go back to town, and we'll see what horrors Mael is up to. We'll give you several more actions to finish off your plot, then we'll have the party reconvene. So let's wrap up the fight. Gale, it's your turn. Roll a strength saving throw. You've been yeeted back into the entangling roots. Oh, unlucky.
Oh no, buddy!
Unlucky.
Come on.
You are restrained. You have the restrained condition, which means your speed is 0. You can't benefit from any bonus to your speed. Your attacks have disadvantage. Everyone's attacks against you have advantage. And you have disadvantage on your saving throw. So you can't move.
Fuck.
It's a bad time for all involved.
I think I'm going. I have darts.
Now's the time.
I was gonna say I'm just gonna throw a dart at her. Do I just click the dart?
Just click the dart. Make sure your advantage and disadvantage is toggled off, and just click the dart.
Okay. I thought you said my attacks have disadvantage.
You're right. You're right. Thank you. I was thinking of like previous abilities and stuff like that, but
Gotcha. That's fair. I'm clicking on the darts. It's not actually
you clicked
throwing them.
on the text of the dart.
Yeah, is there something else?
Oh, it
I
should work
be-
just the same. Are you clicking your equipment or are you clicking the attack? Because if you click the equipment, nothing's going to happen.
No, I realized it wasn't actually checked off as an attack, but it's here now. Gotcha.
All right. Well, a 15 hits, and I don't think it does 0 damage.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure darts are supposed to be like 1d3 or 1d4.
It's a D. Let's do for now a D4 plus your dexterity modifier.
Okay.
You should be able to do that raw by just doing /R space 1d4 plus whatever that number is.
1d. Sorry, could you say that again?
/R space 1d4 plus whatever your dex mod is.
And my dex mod is 4.
Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. 8 points of damage.
That's
a
pretty
telling
good.
From
blow.
a dart.
Just shapeless, like mold and mildew spills out as she chokes on the wound you just inflicted. She lives, but only barely.
Oh, okay.
Sanpei, unless you have something else you'd like to do.
No, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I actually. Okay, so I can do this. I'm going to spend a key point, and there is something else I can do called patient defense. So basically, I can spend a key point, and I can take the dodge action as a bonus action.
Okay, nice. And because you took the dodge action, attacks against you will be normal instead of at advantage.
Yes.
Very good.
Now my turn's over.
Sanpei, it's your turn.
Yeah, so Sanpei just pokes their head around the corner, fires another arrow at creepy mushroom lady.
And you are doing this from stealth, so roll with advantage.
Advantage and sneak attack. Nice.
Yep. Turn on sneak attack, make sure that's checked off, and roll it. The arrow lodges itself in her heart, and she loses much of her corporeal form as just fungus sloughs off her body, and she perishes.
Oh, thank God.
And as she dies, so does her spell.
Woo!
Oh. 2 HP.
I'm going to give the party this group. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to Mael for a moment, and then we'll come back to you
go
wrapping
for
up in the
it.
mines, and
Yeah.
we'll gather everyone together. So, Mael, you take the body, and what do you do with it?
All right, so here's the plan. I'm gonna. Is it safe to assume I have, as a merchant, I have maybe a couple of bottles of wine in my cart?
That seems reasonable.
Okay. Take a bottle of red wine, put it on the ground on any visible blood splatter that might be from where I have committed such an act. We're going to leave it there and then intentionally run it over with my cart
To break it.
as I am leaving the scene.
Okay. A good
such
touch.
that the wine is covering any blood that might be in the area. Gonna make our way to the foreman's house, and one, as I approach, try to see if he is home or not, and two, try to adjust my pace or perhaps double back in a way that is not suspicious, so that I am arriving in front of his house without many people or any people, ideally within visibility range.
Okay, roll perception.
Rolling perception.
And then stealth. One after the other. And
that's advantage on.
Yeah, we're going to take the first roll, the 11. So you're not positive of whether or not he's at home, but you don't see any sign he's home. So you have no reason to believe that he might be home. Go to normal mode and roll stealth. All right. There are a couple of folks who notice you about. What would you like to do to remove their attention?
He is his house is right by the gates, right? I'm going to, instead of stopping in front of his house, I'm going to go right out the gate.
Okay.
And are there guards on the gate?
Yeah, but they're just like townsfolk, basically.
I'm going to find a spot out of visibility of those guards, and leave the find a spot to leave the body.
Okay, in the town or outside of the gate?
I think that if there's not a way to get to his house without being seen, then we're gonna go outside of the gate.
Okay, and you're gonna just find a place to stash the body and leave it there?
Yep, and then we're gonna go back to the town and approach the foreman's house again.
All right.
I'm just going to very quietly knock on the door.
All right. I rolled for it. He does not seem to be in.
Okay. I'm going to very quietly enter his house.
Okay. Are you proficient with thieves? You don't need thieves tools. He doesn't lock it.
I have thieves tools.
Yep.
And I am proficient, so.
Give me stealth to get in quietly one more time. Much better. And what do you do once you're inside the house?
All right. So I'm going to look for the what I sell him, a pick. Okay. I'm gonna look for the pick that I sold him.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't see that. Nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna look for the pick that I sold him. I'm going to find that. I'm also going to see if he has a pair of not the new boots, but his old boots around.
You can find those.
And I'm going to change into those. I am going to I'm going to then go back out the gate and ask the guards as I pass out if they've seen the group of adventurers that's around.
Not for hours.
Not for hours. So they're still out somewhere.
Mm.
I'm going to go look for them again.
Okay.
So going to go back to where I had the body.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to completely chop the head off with the pick.
Okay.
Okay.
That escalated quickly.
Very.
Okay. We're going to very very haphazardly and not well attempt to hide the body, but not really.
Okay.
Make it look like somebody tried to hide it.
Fake stash the body.
Gonna wait for a reasonable amount of time, and come back in and say I still haven't seen them. I'll be at the tavern. Tell them if those adventurers come back to meet me at the tavern. I did forget one thing at the foreman's house. I'm just going to check with him real quick. So I go back to the foreman's house, and I'm going to take the head, and I'm going to leave it somewhere somewhat hidden in the foreman's house.
Okay.
And then I'm going to leave the bloody pick somewhere on his front step that is visible from the road. So maybe not his front porch, but something that's could be seen in the daytime. And I'm going to go back to the tavern after I've done that.
All right. And we'll go ahead and start wrapping up for the night. I'm going to go back to the three of you in the mine. Further search of the mine reveals that there's a great deal of sort of fungal growth everywhere. And you do find a collection of spores and strange pods on this person who you just fought that looks like the russet-colored mold that was growing in the fields.
I definitely want to check if the undead that were in this cave, if their bodies decayed along with the passing of this weird mushroom lady.
You are
like if they're connected somehow. Like if the hand, if the arm in my hand is decaying as she decays as well, and as her life force goes.
No, it seems to have its own ontological momentum. It continues to, and there are a few more of the fungus-encrusted corpses that are still animate. You can choose to avoid them, and they pose little threat when you're all together. So it does not seem like her life force is connected to theirs.
Okay.
So haven't quite solved this yet.
No, I definitely do wonder if, like, just because she has this stuff, if she's the sole perpetrator of all of this nonsense.
So we searched her, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You find a small amount of treasure that we can detail later in the event that you take these characters to another campaign as well.
All right. That's tough because if she.
What's the green shit at the end of the hall?
Oh, there were a couple more mushrooms that were gonna like attack you and rot your flesh, but they got fireballed repeatedly.
Oh my god!
So
thank you.
They're dead. They're crispy. They're just destroyed.
Oh, okay. No mushroom stew though, right? No.
Oh,
Anybody? Sautéed?
Cooked mushroom screw. It's doable. Sampe, you have the clue. You have the letter. What do you do with that information?
Oh god.
Nobody knows you have it.
Okay, so I'm just still stood hanging out at the top of this ramp, yeah?
Yeah, you're free to move around. Again, we're sort of wrapping up, and you've eliminated the threats in the mine, so you're free. We don't have to go turn by turn. You're free to just move around however you'd like.
Okay, sick. I'm gonna go look around.
All right, we'll let Sampe do something, and then again, I'm just saying that you guys
sure.
you search the whole mine. You find a couple more corpses. You find a moderate amount of treasure, but and some strange components and alchemical reagents that she was using. But I think that's about it. And again, Sanpei found the letter.
So Sanpei calls everyone over to come have a look up here.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to oblige. I walk up to him. We walk
Sure.
up to him, rather. I ask if he found anything interesting.
Okay, so Sanpei shows both of them. Sanpei hands Guile the letter to.
All right. So the letter is written in Elvish. Upon investigation, I also forgot to note this, the woman who attacked you, underneath all that fungus, was a wood elf. This letter is written in Elvish. I'll post the text in chat real fast. The Autumn Queen is a wood elf leader who is not known to be friendly towards the other societies in the area. The only person you've met in town whose name starts with B is Bernard the foreman.
Yeah, and I guess I technically don't know that. So that doesn't
And
count, but...
while Guile is reading the letter, Sanpei draws his rapier, stabs him.
Whoa.
Huh.
Okay, I mean, that's a hit. And he's down.
Can I interrupt that?
Tell you what, roll for initiative.
Sure.
Remember to click your character and then roll for initiative. And Guile, you as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right here.
All right. So here's how this is going to work. Sanpei, roll a deception check, since you were trying to deceive Guile into a false sense of security.
That shouldn't be with advantage.
Yeah, we'll just take the first result, the 11. Although I need to do some testing to see if the higher result always goes first, because it's starting to seem like it does. But it
Yeah,
could,
it does seem like that.
I can just roll again.
Yeah,
if you
give me a new flat roll. 17.
Oof.
Okay, both of you two roll insight.
Sure. Oh, you're kidding
my
me! I
God.
had such a good bonus.
Oh my god. That's
For what it's worth, Gnomes, I did scroll up, and
Mhm.
there was an advantage roll where the higher roll was second.
good to know.
You said insight, right?
Insight, yeah. You beat him.
Thank fuck.
You see it coming. You see it coming. So we are going to re-roll that attack. Layla is taken and Ordis are both taken by surprise. Sanpei, re-roll that attack without advantage. He sees what you're doing right before you do it. Give me a fresh attack. Well, that's still a hit. Gale, do you have any special abilities or that allow you to use reactions?
No, nothing like that.
All right, then the attack hits. You are unconscious.
So, okay, Sanpei just turns to Leon and says, "A third is better than a quarter."
Says what?
A third is better than a quarter.
A third of the prize is better than a quarter.
I'm just
Damn.
impressed that you
That's
feel the
cold.
need. I'm just touched that you think that you're gonna give me an Ordis even shares.
Sanpei also pulls out the silver and copper shavings, pass that over and says, "Silence."
Gale, roll a death saving throw. You have one
Okay.
failure. At 3 failures, you die.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moral quandary. Layla and Ordis, what do you do?
Layla reaches down to Gale and picks up the letter
Mm-hmm.
and gets a good look at it because I don't think she had until just
Okay.
or just quickly scans through it with her as well, and they reach some sort of unspoken understanding. And says, they look at each other, and Layla says, there is a way we can get Milicenta's payment out of this as well, since we have this already. We can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yep. Sanpei just nods and starts walking on. In fact, no. Sanpei's going to give. Is that the end of Lyle's turn? Sorry.
Do you do anything else, Layla and
Nope.
Ordis?
That's it.
Okay, Sanpei, your turn.
Okay. Gal deserves a clean death. I'll stab him again.
Okay, you
You get another fail.
yeah. Roll another saving throw.
1 second.
You have a success. Layla and Ordis, life is in your hands.
Okay, I don't have any. I can't resurrect or heal at all.
So here's what if you want to stop Gale from dying, if you have a healer's kit, automatic success. If you have medicine, you can roll to stabilize. Actually, you can roll to stabilize regardless of whether or not you have medicine. Here's the bigger problem.
Okay.
Sanpei just stabbed him. Sanpei's still here.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. That I have a plan for.
So if you and here's the other thing. Sanpei also goes next. So if you stabilize Gale, and Sanpei chooses to focus fire, can just go for the kill.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm going to snatch all of the silver and copper and cast darkness at our feet and run out the way I came.
Okay. We're gonna call that because Sanpei didn't give it all to you. You're trying to snatch it away. So
no, snatching it, and then for the darkness, I'm gonna use 2 sorcery points to make it a quicken spell, so I can use it as a bonus action, so I can both snatch and.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you roll either sleight of hand or athletics to whichever one of those is better. Okay. And Sanpei, I'm gonna allow you to roll sleight of hand to counter.
God damn!
Right,
I have.
You failed to snag. Are you still dropping the darkness and fleeing?
I mean, he did give me some of it, so I did make out with something. So yeah, I do still cast darkness and.
Okay. I think in the darkness, Sanpei, how would you react to just suddenly being plunged into darkness?
Sanpei has dark vision.
It's magical darkness.
So do I, and dark vision people can't see through it.
Yep.
I guess run back. Sanpei runs back into the room they came from, just in case they're going to get swung at.
Okay. I guess let's. You know what? Let's just end it there.
Fair enough.
Gale is bleeding out in the mines to an unknown fate. Perhaps Sanpei will be able to find him and finish him off. Perhaps he'll bleed out. Perhaps he'll miraculously recover and seek revenge. Mail's plan to frame Bernard, unless anybody says otherwise, goes off without a hitch. And Bernard...
I don't think we're even there to protest that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, do either of you return to town?
I think my plan would be, if I get away in the darkness, would be to go to town and, having solved the mystery of what's going on here, pretty much.
I would just like to ask one question. Hey, Guile, when you were reading the letter, did you read it out loud?
No, I didn't.
Because the letter is written in Elvish.
Yeah, I was gonna say that earlier, but
Oh,
So Layala and Odoris doesn't know what the letter's about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally wouldn't. That does change everything. I think if I don't know what the letter's about, then I probably wouldn't have done all of that shenanigans at all. And this puts us in a little bit of a quandary because I have already done it now, and this thing is about to end.
Well,
If I don't know that there's a clear route to more money at the end of the line, I probably would just give Gale another stab and try to work things out with.
unlucky. All right, so then, in the face of his ignominious demise, rest in peace, Gale, would Sanpei and Lila and Ordis, like, what would your scheme be when you got back to town, in quick summary?
I would try to convince Sanpei that we can have our cake and eat it too, since we got the copper and silver from this job. We should probably try to convince Mai that there is more money that we have. We have the foreman's money already, so he doesn't need to frame him for anything. And we have like
It's a bit late for that.
yeah, I mean, we have damning evidence against him as well,
Mm.
and we can use that to go collect our reward from Militenta.
This whole time, Mai is waiting at the tavern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the knight at the tavern?
No.
San Pellegrino's suggestion is that we just cut Mai out of it as well, and we just go straight to the knight, collect the bonus, and leave town.
Sounds good to me. Us, rather. Sounds good to us.
And so the night ends with a betrayed comrade dead in a forsaken mine, and two groups of conspirators all plotting. By the way, Sanpei, you're a charlatan, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add one more plot twist as we leave a question mark on this thing. The letter was forged,
Ooh.
and you can tell.
I don't care. I'm getting paid.
I was like, that's not going to change the out. It's going to change what everyone thinks, but it's not going to change what happens.
Sanpei doesn't care. Sanpei's using the letter to get paid. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We're fine with that.
All right, well, that was a sequence of events that occurred in succession, one after the other.
That's how you know it's a one shot. That's what that is.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Beatdown,
Thanks for having us.
my condolences. Thank you, chat, for joining us, and for staying up past your bedtimes, especially you, Vowels.
It did start going light outside about an hour and a half ago. I just kind of accepted my fate.
There it is. All right. Good night / good morning, everybody.